Such a big boy.
Who's got this? Dude, escape
Gentle
rooms.
parenting your partner.
Jeez, it'll fuck up your relationships real fast, man. We've done it 3 times.
Yeah,
All
if
we
you
do
take
is
me to an
scream
escape
at each
room, I'm just
other.
going to tell you to go fuck yourself. Go fuck that relationship right up.
From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. You get a little bonus today because not only do you get to hear this episode, but you get to hear the echo in the room. So it's like hearing it twice. And now broadcasting from, sadly, the last episode in the churn.
Of Show
That's
Creator
Jim, that's
Studios.
Whitney. I'm Nick. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
It is C'est La Vie to Show Creator Studios.
We have the honor, for those of you just joining us, we have the honor of being the last artistic thing to ever happen.
We're doing a show in here tonight. We're recording. It's 8:45 in the evening right now. Yeah. Tomorrow morning, myself and a few other people, Whitney, I think, is going to come by and help out. We're going to load out the last bit of the churn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one to come help out.
I know. Jeez,
I'm
people.
so,
I'm just kidding.
Nick,
God,
if we run long, Nick is going to come by.
Yes, I will definitely swing by if I can. I've got.
I'm kidding.
Nick will come by for lunch.
I know you're kidding. I know you're kidding. But the Midwesterner, he is really upset.
He's going to bring a casserole unannounced
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock at night. He's like, oh, hey, I just was passing by.
I'm kind of thinking about showing up at 7 and just seeing what I can get done before everybody else gets here.
Right.
Just see if you can get in.
Get it all
Just so
out
I
in
can
the
help
lobby.
And then it's like
Yeah.
halfway
Yeah.
boxed up, like what?
They're like, fuck yeah.
All Jacob's cords are pulled out.
Great.
In no
I'd be so
discernible
happy.
order.
That's fine.
Just nails pulled out of
If
walls.
nothing else, I can make some sandwiches.
Yeah,
Like I can
here you go,
do
guys.
something.
Got you some icy waters. Yeah, so this is it. Show Creator Studios has been good to us, man. 8 years in this place, just about. I mean, we started the show in January of 18. We were at level 9. Then we briefly went.
8 years for
It's been-
us?
This January will be our 8th year doing Pod Therapy.
Oh, but not all here, though.
Well,
Yeah,
almost though, because
Yeah.
that's what I was saying is like we started at level 9. We were there until the summer of 2018. We went
like
from
6
January
months.
to the summer. We got fired, and then we left level 9 because
of.
we were broke.
from our jobs.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
yeah.
okay,
Not from,
not from
level 9
9.
got broken into,
Yeah.
and there was a slight disruption.
We're cool with level 9.
Yeah. They were fine. Yeah, we got along with Scott. But yeah, and then we went to your house for a while. Then we went to my house for a while. And then we started getting in tighter with Jacob and ICS, and they
'cause I
invited us to
remember-
come to Scoop Fest. And we were like, we did Scoop Fest.
Yeah.
And then right after Scoop Fest, we were like, hey, man, can we, patch you in on this? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Come
I
in
do
here.
remember recording at my house because we made soundproof tents.
Aw.
Oh, that's right. the
fun.
little
Because we
boxes.
wanted to. Well, no, but like I remember, like we have a picture in one of our
I
rooms
need to
where
see
like
this.
we've got like a broomstick that's holding up a blanket because we tried to put a blanket over.
I want to be clear.
Us.
We is not me and you. We is you and Laura.
No.
I was not part of this.
I have a picture of you under a blanket.
Are
Get-
you fucking
get the
serious?
proof.
Yes.
I don't remember this at all.
Yes.
So we have a channel.
That's his trauma. His trauma.
That sounds
from
like something I would
being
say.
repressed.
I thought we bought little soundproof cases.
We did, but
Yeah.
you're like we got sound bouncing off the wall behind me, so
That
we had to
doesn't
build
sound
a-
like something I would
Yeah.
say.
Yes.
So if you do have that photo, there's a channel in the
Hell yeah.
Discord called History Museum, and it's all old photos of the show. And I think I have the first photo of Jacob on the show in there, and all these other like cool things.
cute.
I need to go back and find the first Whitney and bring.
We got to
it on
do
here
a
too.
last one today.
Yeah. Oh,
in
that's
this
right. We got to take a
place.
last photo. Oh, good point, Whitney. Yeah, we do. Well, I saw you take one.
I took one, but Jacob's
Yeah.
not in it.
Okay.
Good.
I'll do a
Okay, well,
selfie
he
with
said
all of
good.
us. Remind me to do
That
that.
actually works out well for everyone.
Fine.
Oh, say la vie. But the show is not being canceled as far as we know. We are going to be
still working
backpacking
on
for a
that.
while with Jacob. And then I think, we've got plans for the future. So
Yeah.
the future will be announced when it arrives. But
Plans are good.
exciting stuff.
Yeah. We don't
Several
have plans
people.
yet. We have options.
We have
There are
ideas.
options.
Yeah.
There's
Several
ideas.
people in the Discord
A
were
concept. We
are
suggesting
proceeding.
ideas, and a very
good.
strong one was get an RV. And I said, yeah, Jacob, unironically.
That's on the table.
has tried to pitch this.
That is. Oh no. That is still on the table. That
Jacob's
is
in
still-
negotiations.
That is still an option. It's not my top option,
Okay.
but it is an
Faded
option.
out of number 1.
It was never number one.
Okay.
But if we can justify the RV for other things,
Road trips.
then it becomes like for SJ's touring and everything.
Oh, there you go.
But like this summer, we looked at her schedule, and there were 3 dates all this summer that the RV would be handy.
Okay.
So like not that great. Last
that's not
summer,
worth
it would have been great.
I mean,
Last
it is-
summer, she was driving all over the place and doing like long long multi-show trips. And this summer, it's a lot of just fly in, do a show, and then fly back.
Right.
It is the most likely way we'll get to HoboCon.
Yes.
That is true.
I mean,
I
if
wanna
there's
go
a
so
designated
bad.
RV, we'll probably just fall asleep in there one day and wake up at home.
But we could take the train, like, the rails, the railroad.
Oh, that's
the
right.
rails,
The
yeah.
true hobo method of
Don't buy
transportation.
tickets, just ride
Because
the rails.
anybody who knows us knows that we would survive well.
Oh, we would
being
do so well.
homeless on our own.
Yeah, we'll just sleep in the tunnels, wherever we end up, and it'll be fine. Just
Oh my
eat
gosh.
cans of beans over a fire. I'm sure we'd be just fine.
We're survivors.
That's right.
For sure.
So, show
Picturing
creators
A lot of
Jill
calluses.
has been good to us. C'est la vie, show creators. But what an honor to get to close this place down. It's hosted a lot of important, I think, performances, such as Ice Cream Social. Penn Sunday School was nested here for a very long time. So a prestigious background this building has had. So it's exciting to bring it all the way down to the ground. Yay. But we've got some great questions for today's show. I want to remind you, you can drop those questions at Patreon, at our email, podtherapyguys@gmail.com. And also, if you just open up this episode's description in whatever app you're using, scroll on down. We've got links to random things. There's a link in there that says, hey, you got a question? Here's our Google form. It's completely anonymous. You're welcome to drop them in there. In summertime, a lot of times our question queue kind of slows down. A lot of people are traveling, so we're just not getting as many people writing in. And so it's been thinning out a little bit. So get those questions in here because you're likely to get heard a lot faster. There's an express lane, so check it out. But a couple of questions for today. First one, understanding the urgency of my wife's requests, from Anonymous. Hello, friends. My wife and I have...
Stick that finger in my butt now!
Okay! Hurry!
Urgently!
I mean, that is time sensitive.
It is.
If we're being
Yeah.
fair.
It is.
That's
The worst is when she's like,
It
it's
is
too late.
all
It's
about
too
time.
Yeah,
late.
you missed it.
It's too late. No, just get out now. Stop. Now it's weird.
That's a very narrow window.
There's a very small window where you can anally penetrate somebody and they're great with it and they're happy you did it.
Yeah.
But man, it just expires like milk. So bad, so fast. My wife and I have normal marital squabbles, but the one that is the most confrontational when it does happen revolves around tasks that my wife gives me to do. The script goes as follows. My wife will ask me to do something around the house, clean the kitchen, take out the trash, whatever. I'll say, sure, no problem. The issue is, in my mind, I interpret the request as do this when you feel like it. I'm going to pause right here.
Yeah, I feel like I can
I'm
answer
just
this
doing a quick
question
look
right
around
now.
the room,
I think
and
we
all
can
the
answer
boys
this
are
one.
on the same page right now.
Let
like,
me know thoughts from
nothing
the
wrong with
room.
this writer. He's on the right side of this issue.
I don't even know what the problem is.
Oh my gosh!
Just-
Finish the question,
I was
Jim.
just
Keep reading.
as I was reading, I look up really quick. I just see Whitney staring daggers.
Yes,
and
I was like, this
Nick and Jagger both
mother-
like kind of nodding, like yeah, this is.
I can't wait to see where this
kind
question
of on
goes.
his
Keep
side
going.
on this.
Oh
All
my,
right,
no.
here we go.
Okay.
We'll get deeper into this. Sure, no problem. My mind interprets this as do this whenever you feel like it. But a few hours later or the next morning,
Oh my god!
and I haven't done it yet, she goes ahead and does the task. Ah, shit, I think I already know
Thank
the
you.
answer.
Okay,
now that I'm
you
typing
saved
this
yourself
out.
in my mind. You're redeeming yourself.
Just for everybody that doesn't understand this, the writer has subtext in his own letter in which he says, oh shit, I think I already know the answer now that I'm typing this out. My wife will then get very frustrated with me that I didn't do the task before her.
Yep,
but
I'm
I think
familiar so
there's
far.
a disconnect between her sense of urgency and mine. What I would like is to be given a deadline because I'm a brain-dead caveman, as it turns out, to get the task done by, as opposed to feeling like I don't have direction to the direction on the expectations. And then, of course, when she does the task before me, she's left feeling like I don't take her seriously, and I'm frustrated that I wasn't given the latitude to handle the task on my own, especially if the task isn't urgent. Is it unreasonable to ask for a deadline when she tells me to do something, or am I just a bum, which I am now realizing is more likely the case? Love, Anonymous. P.S. Extra golf question for Nick, since my question sucked. I cannot shoot under 100 to save my life. I've been playing
Neither
for
can
10
Nick.
years now. The
that
worst
bad?
part of my game is chipping and lob shots. I have a number of different wedges, but have been told to just leave the 52-degree wedge in the bag. Don't use anything else. Do you agree? Thank you, Anonymous.
Okay, I'm going to set some time aside to attack that question.
you a
'cause
budget
I got
on
some.
that.
I got some.
You
I
got
got some
thoughts
feedback
later?
for you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
you can relate to both these questions. I think
I can actually.
I want to hear y'all's first on
Okay, so
this.
just preach
we're
it,
all
Nick.
laughing
Let's
because
just
we all
preach.
kind of understand, like, okay, this is clearly she has an expectation of like, hey, can you do the dishes?
The wife's
That doesn't
clearly
mean-
a fascist.
that
I
doesn't-
think is what we all
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
Right? We were all thinking, what a bitch.
That doesn't mean
God.
by the 15th of this month can you do the dishes. That
all right,
means can
it
you
was
do
not
the dishes?
specified.
now?
If the recorder will please read back the transcript, okay? A date was not specified.
So there is some undertones as far as some expectations. Now, I do think that, yes, obviously, you kind of learn how your partner communicates.
Right.
Like, I know, like, when Laura says something, we've been together long enough now. I know that what she says and what she means are different
These
things.
are totally different
And I
things.
need to operate off of what she means.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm still wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
But as long as we continue to communicate that and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
And I just like put that in my memory bank, and I'm like, that means this. I will remember that for next time.
Yeah.
But then also, it's not
It's
always.
all consent to Nick.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's not all 100% one person's
Yes.
fault in this.
right,
There is a little bit of like, okay, communication. Like, I see how you may have misinterpreted this. I'll try to communicate this way. You know,
I hope that's what you say
Signal
to her. I
flags.
see now how you misstated what you wanted to say.
yeah.
I see now how you poorly
I
communicated.
see how you fucked this up.
I see
It's
now.
not exactly.
I know
no,
what
no.
you wanted to say now.
No.
Thank goodness we've
But I mean,
clarified
it's
this.
been that way even for my communication to her, where I will say something and like it's implied in my mind.
Right. Here's how I meant
what I
that.
say is what I mean. But then I
Yeah.
have to understand, okay, well, she didn't interpret it that way. I can't just 100% rely on her. Like, you need to understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, I also have to work on changing my communication.
I see what you mean there.
There's two sides to the street. Is
That's
basically what
fine.
I'm saying.
and
now,
on both sides, Laura is wrong.
Yes. Of course.
I'm waiting.
Of course.
not
Biding my
all
time.
what I'm saying. But, now, that being said, I've got like I can relate to this not with any partner I've been with, but with my boss, an old boss I had.
Okay.
Okay. It was a boss who you didn't actually work for her, but we worked for the same organization.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey.
It
God,
was
what a bitch.
Oprah. Yes.
Oh my God. And just so much sexual assault.
Always about what
always.
Dr. Phil wants.
Ah, God.
But no, so this old supervisor of mine, everything was an emergency.
Oh, I remember this.
jeez.
I remember you used to tell me this when this was
Everything
happening.
was an emergency in her mind,
Mm-hmm.
and which was detrimental to all of the staff.
Right.
Because if
Yeah.
everything's an emergency, that means nothing's an emergency.
Yes.
Right.
You don't have the staff didn't have the ability to identify
Like
That's right.
discern.
what is a real emergency and
Right.
what is not.
How should I
I
prioritize
used to
my
tell
list?
new people on tour, like new heads of department or whatever on show tours. I was like, every stop we go to, every city that we're in, you get to yell at the local crew one time.
Okay.
You get one good
Spend it.
pissed
Yeah.
off yell, and if you do it more than once, you're just the guy that yells.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like now you're just yelling and nobody listens to you
Now
anymore.
they ignore you.
That's
If you are a
valid.
reasonable person and you yell one time, people take you seriously and you can move on. No, you don't have to yell.
Yeah.
If nothing's going wrong.
But you don't want to waste it either.
That's right.
Wait, do you get rollover yells?
Well, no, it's like
No.
no.
Okay, well then you're not gonna. Well then I'm not wasting the yell. You've
No, you can use it.
disincentivized me
You
to
can
stay
use it.
calm. I'm
No,
going
this-
to use it. I'm not going to waste it.
Use it.
I can't
This
roll
is,
them over.
this
Yell
is
at
like,
your patience, Jim.
I'm going to.
this is
Get
like
me
Barney,
my coffee.
like Barney Fife.
Right.
In the Andy Griffith Show, he's got one bullet. He keeps in his shirt pocket.
Yep.
If he ever needs it, then he's just
Ready
got
to
that
go.
one bullet ready to go.
Wow.
No, but so
Whitney just learned something.
I did. I was like, huh.
oh, I can talk about it. I'm thinking about doing a spin-off podcast that's just the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh,
And
dude,
I let
let's
the show
do
break
it.
down.
Let's do
He
this.
didn't invite you on it, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey!
No, we only need one verse. So
The echo
We got to
is
finish
great.
now. Oh,
anyway,
I got left out.
so here's the thing. I think with some of that, like I get the frustration with that because with my old boss, because everything was an emergency, if something happened, she
I have
would
to use the bathroom now.
She would
I'm
not,
gonna have this baby in 9 months.
she would know about it first,
Oh yeah,
and then would have to deal with it first.
right.
And it was almost and at one point I had this conversation with her in her office. I said, "Look, like we're playing a doubles, we're playing tennis, we're playing like a doubles match, and you're yelling at me for not hitting the ball when you're right up at the net,
Right, you're
and you're
diving.
hitting every single thing. Like, go ahead if you want to
Right.
play that way, but you can't play that way and be mad at me
Right, yeah.
because it doesn't get
Don't
Yes,
let
I
it
can.
fall back to
Yeah.
me.
And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, watch me."
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
think-
a really good example.
Oh, stop.
She said,
I'd say
"I bet I
stop.
can."
Yeah.
No, that's a really good example. Like the urgency in that case, obviously this person is like exaggerated, and therefore you're looking and going, hey, you've got to kind of pick your battles here. So Jacob, hypothetical question.
Yes.
You are sitting on your couch. You've got your dog there on your lap. You've got a nice cold beer in your hand.
Okay.
Maybe you're watching the NBA Finals. Okay, just enjoying a nice evening to yourself.
Yeah.
You can hear your wife, lovely lady. She's in the kitchen. She's cleaning up some things, putting away some things.
That doesn't sound like her.
Okay. So then she
We're imagining,
Yeah,
Jacob.
yeah,
imagining.
Sorry. Hypothetical.
and she hollers out from the other
That
room.
sounds like her.
Babe, can you take out the trash?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean to you? Are you putting the dog down and getting
I'm-
up right now?
For the trash, for that specific request, that usually means I'm in the middle of something right now
Grab
and need this bag of trash moved right now. So for that specific request, because like what Nick was saying, like you get to know each other, you know the language.
Okay.
So with trash, I know that if she calls from another room and says, "Could you take the trash out, please?" I know that whatever she's doing in that other room, she needs that trash gone.
Okay.
Pretty immediately.
That is a time sensitive
Yes.
request. The implication of that is it's urgent.
Yes,
That's different than, hey, the burner on the stove isn't working. Could you take a look at it?
that's
Yeah.
right.
Or are you going to knock out these dishes?
Yeah.
And yes, but I'm not going to stop watching this live
Right.
show for that.
And so, like with the dishes, she might say, like, "Hey, there's some dishes in the sink." Like if I'm off one night or something, let's really get creative with this
Yeah.
imaginary
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah. Let's get
and
in
say
there.
that I have a free night.
Yeah.
So let's say that I'm off one night, and she says, "Hey, there are dishes in the sink. I'm going to go do a show. If you could tackle these dishes at some point." I know that what she means by that is, "Hey, before we go to bed tonight,
Okay.
if you could get these dishes knocked out, that'd be awesome."
Here's what that means in my brain. If my wife says that to me, that means if I get home
Yeah.
and these are still here, it is your ass.
Well, it's
And
not.
so I like
What
to know when
happens
she's
with your
leaving
ass?
work. Oh, yeah, the butt stuff we talked about earlier. The stuff that I don't like, and I want her to stop. I don't like it anymore.
Dirty
but this
dishes
Well,
means
do
is
the
why I do the
dishes.
dishes. Jimmy gets his chores done now. Not fucking around.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really mean before we go to bed. It means before we go to bed, or please don't make these be in my way when I get home.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
almost like
Like if
you're-
she's going to get home and just make a cup of tea, then great. Who cares if there are dishes in the sink?
Okay.
Right.
But if she's going to get home and try to make like a late meal or something,
Right.
then those dishes are going to be in the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I almost hear it as like, hey, this would mean a lot to me if you could do these. It's like, I'm asking you, yes, I could do them. I could do them later. I could do them now. But you know what? I have a lot on my plate. You know,
You're
I
sitting
could
there
do
watching
them,
the
but-
basketball game.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're kind of chilling like, could you do that?
knock these out?
To
In
me, it's
my
like-
world,
Yeah.
it's a warning. In my world, if I'm being told, hey, can you grab are you going to do these dishes? Or hey, can you do this thing? Can you do this task? That is, and this is where I feel for the writer, because for me, a lot of times it's like, yeah, I'll even say that. Yeah, yep, I'll do that. But for me, it's like I'm doing something else right now. I want that to be honored. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. And I think another layer that makes
Jacking
all
it.
this, yeah, exactly. I'm furiously masturbating right
Yeah.
now to the Andy Griffith show.
Obviously.
You know that's my 3 p.m.
But
Is that why
From
your
her
penis was hard when
perspective-
you were whistling?
Right, yeah.
But from her perspective, like, when are you not? Like,
Well,
you've got
okay,
to take
all
a
right.
break at
Exactly.
some point.
Well, marriage
There's
is about
shit around
compromise.
the house that needs to get
You're
done.
right. Compromise is important. Another layer of this puzzle. is
Wash
when-
this load of socks.
Yeah, they're standing on their own. Looks like they were pulled out of mannequins. So Another layer that makes it even more complex is having kids.
I was going to say this too.
It
so
gets
go
more
on.
complex.
Wash these fucking socks.
I really need to wash the socks.
How old is your son?
So yeah, here we go. So it gets really complicated because as your kids are growing up, you start delegating chores to them, not because they're that helpful,
but
that's part of them growing.
Yeah, they need to do it.
And it's frustrating because then, of course, your kids don't do it, or you're having to parent them. And a lot of times you'll turn your angst on your partner. And you'll be like, are you going to take this trash out? And be like, no, that's our son's chore. Like, well, I told him to do it and he didn't do it. So are you going to do it? And it's like, no, that defeats the fucking point.
Right.
You've got to go back and do some parenting work. Like, or I'll go yell at his ass. But then it's like, oh, you're going to yell at him because you're lazy. And you just don't want to tell him to, you're going to tell him to do it because you don't want to do it. And it's like, trust me, it's way easier for me to bag up this shit and take it out to the garage than to go march upstairs, get my kid off his video games, explain to him that he's fucking up.
It's easier for me to take this plastic bag of trash outside than it is to try to get a teenager or a preteen
to do fucking anything.
To do things.
Come the fuck on.
Yeah, of course it is.
Trust me, I would rather do the labor. But that adds a whole nother
layer of complexity. By the way, it's easier to do the labor than try to get an adult to do it too.
Yeah. But it's funny because that's how she'll be. She'll be like, oh, and can you do this and do that and do this by the time I get home or something like that? Yeah. And sometimes I'll be like, yes, but also I several of these things need to be done by the child or one of our children. You get home at the same time they do. And so I'm not going to do it. And that's not me being flippant or defiant. It's me looking at it and going, no, because other shit needs to be part of this ecosystem. But I also am absolutely guilty of what the writer talks about where it's just a delay. Right? Yeah. Where it's like, hey, can you do this thing? And I'm like, yes. But for me, cleaning off the table, tidying up the kitchen, doing some dishes or whatever, that all needs to be done on my timeline, which is like before the next time I want to use that stuff. Whereas for her, if she's walking around and that shit is dirty around her,
right,
that's emotionally hurtful. And so then she's looking around being like, I'm not going to be able to handle this. I can't handle shit still on the kitchen table.
Right.
I can't handle the dishes here. So I'm going to stop what I'm doing now and clean all this shit. And I'm like, well, all you had to do was wait. And she's like, but there's an emotional tax on asking me to do that.
It's mental clutter.
That's fair. And the more I've learned that, this goes back to Nick's, epiphany about like meaning versus words, the more I've come to understand that it's not about asking me to do the task. It's understanding the meaning behind what effect does this have on her if it's not done? And knowing her personally that she's like, she'll get emotional about it not being done, then I feel a sense of urgency to get it done because I don't want her to go through the units of suffering that go along with
SJ and I try, we try hard in our house to, if we need something immediately from the other person, we try to just communicate that.
Yeah.
We try to just say that.
Right? Through the servants. The butler, you tell the butler to tell, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes with the intercom system, depending on what rooms we're in.
We're carrier pigeons. Yeah.
But yeah, we try to do the like, hey, if there is a time limit in my mind on a thing that I'm asking SJ to do,
like people are coming to visit and you're working all day.
I'll try to tell her that. Be like, hey, this is happening. Could you try to get this taken care of before that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, that's fair. All right, Whitney, let us have it.
But I do ask her to.
I know you've just been sitting there, just chewing on your pinky nail, just like, fuck, I'm going to fuck these dudes up. I'm going to get them all.
I think there's a perspective here. Jim, you did a good job touching on some topics. My kid angle was a little different than what you said. And I hear you. And that's valid with teens. But I feel like when kids are in those younger years and like they're 5 and not able to take out the trash, what happens is women are carrying the mental load of like managing the children most of the time. And this is obviously in like kind of stereotypical heterosexual
but let's
households.
Go with it,
yeah, like one partner will say, it tends to be the woman at times, is taking on this mental load of like, all right, I've got to get the kids dressed, up during the day and all this stuff, and then I'm gonna get dinner ready and like get them laid down at night. And to the mental load of having to tell you, another adult, what to do, it's like, look the fuck around, do anything. You can do anything here. Like,
can you imagine? Whitney, can you imagine living with Jim Jobin?
Oh, hey.
Don't make me.
I've gotten better.
Don't make me.
I have gotten
brutal.
better. No, but Whitney, I love this point you're making because the writer talks about getting direction, right? And I think this is where a lot of, and I'm guilty of this too, a lot of men get frustrated because we're like, well, that's not, you didn't tell me, you didn't do this. Well, you didn't tell me to do this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate, because I've been in that male brain. I've said those exact words, and I know what my heart wanted to say at that time, which is like, your energy that you're coming at me with implies that I've betrayed you somehow because I didn't do something you've asked. I don't want to pay that price when I wasn't asked to do it. But then I've, after 20 years of marriage, understood the feminine perspective, which is stereotypical, but often the other partner perspective, which is, we are both co-equal adults. We both live in this environment. It's not my job to give you a chores list like you're a teenage boy and I'm your mom. You're just supposed to proactively look around and complete the things that need to be completed. But then this turns into a couples debate where sometimes they'll say, okay, that's fair. I should be allowed to complete things the way I want to complete them, which is a whole new conversation of like, because I've been fired from doing dishes, I've been fired from doing laundry, I've been fired from other chores.
Sounds like
because I don't do it the way she
go
wants.
On. Yeah, go on.
How dare you,
I
Whitney?
Use that
I will not be accused.
Language.
I am a union laborer. We do great work. No, but I mean, like, it's tough because it's like, okay, well, I want you to do this. It's like, okay, I'll do it. And then it's like, oh, you didn't do it right. So then it's like, okay, but that's a tough area too, because then it's like, I'm trying, and also like, your standard might be unusually high, and I don't need to go line up 10 humans and ask what the average is. I'm the other half, and if I'm telling you, okay, I'll take on the task, but it's going to be done Jimmy's way, that's it. We got to do it, or you got to talk to me through that.
So yeah, I what I wanted to start off by saying was, I used to be more on team like, oh, just tell your partner, kind of what the writer's saying, like, hey, can you take out the trash before we go to bed tonight?
Give them the
like, here's the thing, like, give that instruction. But over time, having like met with clients, seeing things, on the internets and all this stuff, and again, not having the same experience as people with families have, like, there's just a lot more going on in those ecosystems. I am a little bit more on board with like, okay, in the beginning, tell me, give me instruction. We just started dating. We just moved in together. You're feeling each other out, like how you do a chore versus how I do a chore.
Right.
And that's fair to try and say like, oh, well, this is how I'm going to do things or whatnot. I also, maybe this is just because this is what was modeled to me. Like, my stepmom has a very high standard of cleanliness in her home. Okay. Like, maybe bordering on OCD. Okay.
Very thorough. Very thorough.
Very, very thorough. My dad has never been like a sloppy guy or anything. He like lived on his own. He cooked his own meals. Like he's self-sufficient. Like between when my parents divorced and he met my stepmom. So like he could take care of himself. But when you talk about the level, right?
Right.
But I watched him. He'll even, when they come to our house, we'll put dishes in the sink, and we love our dishwasher. I will let that shit fill up, and I put everything, things I shouldn't, don't judge me, like go in that fucking dishwasher.
The cat goes in the dishwasher.
The cat, the sharp knives that I should not be putting, I don't care.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't care. It goes in there. Like, I mean, just about everything.
I have, speaking knives are a big thing in our house.
I know, you're like chefs over there. So
it's not SJ.
Chefs. I know it's not SJ.
I have like knives that, and I don't tell SJ she can't use them, but I just have knives that she does not use.
Yes, I was gonna say, I was like, and that's fair. You're like, I know I don't want these fucked up. These stay over here.
That's it.
Like, I appreciate that. So like, I will let the dishes fill up, Peter and I both, and then we put like whatever in the dishwasher. My dad, when he comes to visit, my stepmom has trained him.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's trained.
Once we've like cooked meal, like before we go to bed, before we're winding down, like right after we've eaten, he's in there, he's doing the dishes, he's cleaning them
right away.
Yeah. There is not a dish in that
which
sink
is a great house guest to have, though. It's really, I really appreciate that person.
It is. I still prefer to just put them in the dishwasher, because then
they are busting you out of your rhythm.
Yeah, it's like out of my rhythm, and then now they're sitting there, and I have to put them away right now because they've dried. I'm just like, no, let's just have the 10 minutes of putting all the dishes away. But anyway, so it can be time consuming, but she has like, he knows the expectation of what pleases her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not to say he's not an asshole in other areas. Love my dad. Like,
not perfect.
But that is an area I think he knows, like, I know what she wants. I know how she wants this chore done.
Right.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I know how
understanding how to please people and pleasing them aren't always the same thing.
Right. Going back to the anal thing.
He's like, I understand how to please my wife.
Yeah. Finger
So, like,
penetration
I got it.
through the buttocks.
So I guess that would be my question. What keeps you from doing it the way she wants to? Like, if
Over the years, I do. So
I'm
like,
sure,
so,
now, but like you mentioned, like,
when
it's going to get done the way
couples are
I
first
want
arguing
it.
about this,
I'm assuming just
I
stupidity.
usually come in first with the idea of like, you know, you
good
do have to negotiate. So if you ask your husband, hey, I want you to sweep the kitchen or mop the kitchen, I think it's proper to show him like, this is the way I do it. You know, I this is how I'm hoping you do it. But if he's like, look, I don't like to use this special Swiffer thingy. I like to just use a mop and hot water and some soap. And like, that's how I'm going to do it. And I'll get it done my way. All right, they're still at an impasse. Therapeutically, I'm usually going to come in there and talk about like, let's make room for this because you don't want him to become your personal servant. He's not your personal maid. Part of your beef is the delegation. I don't like always delegating and directing, but I think sometimes we get stuck where we're talking out of both sides of our mouth on that. Where like on one part of our brain, we're like, you're a fucking grown up. I shouldn't have to tell you how to do it. And they're like, listen, fucking grown up, do it exactly my way.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, if that wasn't your spouse, if that was just your friend or your sibling, would you be talking to them that way? Or would you just kind of let it hang? And they're like, hey, you know, I cleaned up the kitchen for you. If your mother-in-law comes over, she's like, hey, I threw everything out. I took care of it. You don't go, oh, okay, I'll just have to rewash those dishes.
Right.
Like, excuse me?
Well,
you just don't do it the way I do it.
You're
like,
talking about people like at dinner
you.
parties and stuff washing dishes.
Yeah.
And that's not an uncommon thing. Like,
Take the win.
And we have people come over to the house and we'll have dinner and everything. And a lot of times one of our friends will just make their way into the kitchen and start cleaning up dishes.
Yeah.
And of course, you always do the leave it. We're going to put it all in the dishwasher later. It's not a big deal. And then 10 minutes later, it's all just done.
Yeah.
And it is, and like nothing is where you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But who cares?
I feel like this is a really big hint of how you think things are going to go when we record at your house.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, dinner is served.
Yeah. How do I say this nicely? It is expected then when people come over.
That's
to my
right.
house.
And none of us know where
They
the
do
knives
the
are
dishes.
still.
We'll all be assigned chores when we get there.
There will just be like vacuums and mops just casually laying out.
There's a little chore list with each of our names on it. Like,
There's a
okay.
picture book of how to do the chore.
This is how we like it done.
No, I want to say too, the couples, I wonder if you've experienced this, Jim, the couples that I have dealt with or talked through who have the most challenges seem to be when one partner has ADHD.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a whole nother layer.
Oh, yeah.
But it's hard because they're like, I have told them so many times.
Right.
Or they're like, they said they would do it and then they got distracted.
And their
like,
heart's good. They want to help.
And the other person,
they're horrified that they keep dropping the ball.
yeah, they feel bad, but then they get frustrated because they're like, now you're always nagging me. And like, I messed up. And it's just like this difficult space. So,
Which is part of how we diagnose ADHD.
Yes.
Apparently this is having a bad effect on your social life.
Exactly.
But no, I think we've looked at this from every angle, and I agree with you. I over the years, I think you have to come to understand what your partner wants, because otherwise, when you do this, they're going to be unhappy. And obviously, at the end of the day, you do want your partner to be happy.
Yeah.
And then you're doing it more and more their way, which I think has happened over the years. Like your father, I've been trained over 20 years to kind of do it the way that she wants it done. But we've also had to have hard talks sometimes where it's like, hey, I'm not the kids, so like when you ask me to do something, you're right. You shouldn't have to ask. Like, I get my own chore list going
vibe
on.
with
And we
teens.
have to do this. Like I'd say about every year we end up reaching a boiling point, and she's a school teacher. So it's kind of predictable when it's going to happen. It's usually the same time of year. Everything's coming to a head. She's struggling at school and work and the kids' lives, and everything's boiling over. She'll get predictably frustrated. And then we'll end up in this conversation where she's like, I just don't feel supported by you. Like, you need to do more. And I'm like, okay. And I go full therapist mode where I'm like, I want to do better. Like, and I get out the list and I'm like, okay, this is the list I currently do. These are the days that I do that.
Can you imagine?
Show me
living
what
with
I
Jill?
need to add to this list. And then we get it on there. And then I try to like make that a felt experience. Like that the next week you notice it's being done. And then, that's hopefully making a difference in a person's life. But we've also had to have hard talks where it's like, look, you can't just come in here and rule on high or say things like, oh, I told you to take out the trash or whatever. I told you to do this thing. Like, it's like, yeah, you didn't tell me when. It's like, well, I shouldn't have to. It's like, no, you do. Like, I'm sorry, but you do. Or sometimes it's a test where it's like, I told you and then I walked away to see if you would do it. And it's like, no,
don't do
I'm
that.
a grown fucking man.
Yeah, don't do that.
Do that to our children. Absolutely. And then reprimand them like a parent. I'm not your child, So like, we're going to have to deal with this shit. But no, this is thorny shit, and a lot of families go through it.
Or you could just go full hog and get like the big adult-sized diaper and just like
say, that's
just
it.
be one of the kids.
That's it. I'm just
Yeah.
going to be one of the kids.
just shit
I'm
yourself
the
around
baby.
So, Nick, I think we've
Check yourself
budgeted.
one time. She'll cut all that shit out.
We've budgeted 90 seconds for you to explain how to
there.
improve
Oh yeah,
this guy's golf
forgot
game.
about that.
You forget I'm a co-host. I'll take as long as I fucking
God
want.
damn it.
Here's
I'm
the
gonna
thing.
go to the bathroom while you do
Nope.
this.
I'll talk through it. I don't care.
Jesus. They got to close this building
All right,
down, though.
here's the thing.
We only have the building through the end of the month.
That's right.
Here's what I would suggest, Ryder. Okay, so you're shooting to shoot under 100. Here's the thing. It's going to be one of two things that you're going to want to focus on. You're focused on both ball striking and targets, course management. Okay. So when it comes to course management, the idea is aim for Texas, not Rhode Island. Okay. So when you're finding your targets, you have to aim for spots that are you're going to be allowed to miss. So for example, I just played this past weekend and there was several par 4s, par 5s where I didn't take out driver. I took out a 4-iron because where my driver would have landed is the narrowest part of the fairway and there's some danger there. So I'd lay up short of it. Okay. So that's course management, just being able to understand where you're most likely to miss and play to those. Ball striking is the other one. So the three things that you're going to focus on. Okay. You're going to want to focus on hitting the ball in the center of the club face. Okay. Getting good at that.
Okay.
Here's what you do. Go to Walgreens, CVS, any pharmacy, pick up some Dr. Scholl's foot powder spray. I'm serious.
Okay.
You take this, take it with you when you go to the driving range, spray the club of the face of the club. And then as you're hitting balls, you're going to be able to look down and you're going to see where on the club face.
Oh, it leaves a mark?
Yeah.
Oh.
It'll leave a mark. So you know where you're hitting, right?
That's
so you want to get
cool.
really good at three things. One is hitting the center of the club face. Okay. Second thing is ground contact. That's the second thing you want to practice.
You don't want to stub the
making
club,
sure,
right?
Yeah, making sure that your divot is in front of the ball, not behind it. So you're hitting ball first, so you're hitting down.
Ball
with your
first,
iron.
baby.
Ball first.
When he went to the bathroom, just came
I
back.
just came back.
We're
That
talking
was
about
fun.
sex
Obviously.
again.
I knew it.
We went back to the butt stuff.
Yeah.
Third thing.
Balls first.
Third thing is learning club face control.
Okay.
Okay, learning to be able to
Is club another word for penis?
if the ball starts off,
Always is.
If you're right-handed, if the ball starts right, it means your club face is open. If it starts left, it means the club face is closed.
Okay.
Okay. So those three things: ball first contact. Shut up, Whitney. Hitting the center of the club face. And ground contact. Those are three things.
Good
you wanna
advice.
focus on.
I just heard
If you focus on that, because I'll be honest, there's some guys that I play with in my league that I look at when they swing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck are you even making contact with the ball?
Okay.
Like, God, they have a terrible, ugly swing, but they're good golfers.
Yeah.
And it's because they've learned, even though they've developed all these bad habits, they've learned how to do those three things.
Okay. Basics.
They've managed those.
Have you
And then-
seen
yeah.
that episode of Rick and Morty where Jerry
Mr.
gets a
Meeseeks.
Mr. Meeseeks
yeah.
and asks him to help him get a swing off his golf
They
game?
just keep-
And they keep making more to try to help him, and they realize they should just kill him.
Yeah.
Like his golf game will improve if he's dead.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't know when we're planning on going to Topgolf,
Eventually.
but I mentioned to
Maybe
my
after we get done tonight.
to my
boy.
golfing partners this weekend that
we're doing this.
that you think you can beat me at Topgolf.
Okay.
And it
Can we
was a
take bets
really
on Discord?
it was a
wanna see this.
it was actually
I mean, if anybody's willing to bet on both sides,
There's money
that's
there.
fair.
There's money to be
Somebody
made.
is.
it was we all got a really good kick out of it.
It's not going to be me.
Well, your
but-
friends clearly don't know how successful I've been out of my one Topgolf experience. So I was very good. Sonic the Hedgehog got like all the coins when I smacked the ball.
I did a recording here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, of Jim?
Play it into the,
Okay,
into the microphone.
Hold on.
All right.
Jim, there is no fucking way. No fucking way. And I've heard you talk. I have. You sound good. You sound good. A lot of good. With a lot of talking. But you're not going to be Nick. You just aren't going to do it. I'm
Who
sorry,
is
bud.
this?
That's the final say.
Who is this asshole?
That's
I think that's Tiger Woods.
that's my buddy Cola.
Oh shit! Oh, Cola. All right.
Yeah.
that was O.J. Simpson. Voice you just
All
heard
your
was
golf buddies.
O.J. Simpson.
From the grave. All right. Well, we will see what happens there, Tanner. I'll
Excited.
make Cola eat his words. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking about something we're all experts in: pregnancy. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
No one here has been pregnant.
Today's episode is brought to you by Smitty Scoop, Mason Miller, Tess Miller, Byler T, Paris, Team Monaco, Oscar Swanrose, Hannah Marie, Emma Kane, and Myra. Would you like to sponsor the show? Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy. All right, when was the last time you all have seen the movie Clueless?
Oh my
man.
gosh.
I remember this
I
movie.
watched
I don't know,
it
roughly
kind of
when it was
recently.
released.
Yeah.
Oh my
Turned
gosh.
30 years old
Oh, wow. Okay.
this summer. So it went back in theaters. So Laura and I and her sister went to this movie today.
Oh, that's kind of
So
fun.
we saw it back in the theater.
I know that it's back around. I knew that it
Yes.
was the anniversary of it.
Oh yeah, I think they're
because,
making a new one. Or
Oh,
no.
I don't know. They might be.
I don't know. Sorry, go on.
Is there another
SJ and I watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and they're in the middle of a season of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars right now, and they do a whole challenge based around Clueless
I
because
love it.
because there's the anniversary.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I
really
was like, I do know that it's coming. I don't think I've seen it since it was in theaters.
Yeah, released in 95, but watching it again, like as an adult, there's a lot more of the
Yeah.
jokes that I got that I didn't get the first time. All right. Let's go Jacob.
All right.
Lucky ducky.
What high school does Cher attend?
Oh, if you would ask me what her name was,
Yeah.
I could have told you Cher.
Take options.
Yeah, I don't options.
West Beverly High, Bronson Alcott High, Ridgemont High, or Pacific Palisades Prep?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Let's go for the alliteration. Let's go Pacific Palisades Prep.
That feels good.
No, Bronson Alcott High.
Oh, man. I would not have
I
taken
wouldn't have
that.
known that either.
The Ridge one felt like another movie.
Ridgemont, isn't it Fast Times? at
Yeah.
Ridgemont?
So that one.
Oh,
yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Okay, Whitney.
Okay.
What is
boy.
the name of the teacher Cher plays matchmaker for?
Oh
the
my
male
gosh.
teacher.
Good
Oh wait,
Lord.
it's a male teacher. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. It's the Inconceivable guys.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't even ring a
Will
bell
you
to
give
me.
it to her if she gets
Inconceivable.
the actor?
From-
From Princess
I don't
Bride.
know
Oh,
who you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
We're talking about Wallace
Okay.
Shawn, the actor.
I need
But I
to-
don't know.
yeah.
I don't remember the
Okay.
spotlight in Clueless at all.
I remember it's the curly-haired teacher too, right? Anyway, what's the options? I don't know his name.
Mr. Hall, Mr. Elton, Mr. Wendell, or Mr. Horowitz?
I mean, the last one kind of feels
No,
like it, but-
no. Cher Horowitz is her name. So
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
All of these are names that
Yes,
are in the
I
movie.
know
Oh,
Elton is
no.
not it either. That's the guy she likes or is
Jesus.
rich or whatever. Or that is an asshole.
Wow. How do you know this?
I feel like it's Hall and what was the other one?
Wendell.
Wendell. One of them's the lady's name that she tries to connect.
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
I think Hall.
Correct.
Yes.
Jesus. Jacob, we're fucked.
Okay.
We do not have a shot in hell.
I knew Cher.
I didn't know that. Fuck me.
I only knew that because
fun.
it was on RuPaul the other day.
Yeah, I feel like I got that far.
Okay. What is the band, Jim? What is the band playing during the party in the valley?
Give me the options.
Green Day.
Radiohead, No Doubt, Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, or Blink 182.
God damn it. It's not Blink. I want it to be Mighty Boss Tones, but I feel like that wasn't the vibe. I don't feel like they were trying. I don't think they were getting into ska. I think it was so posh.
That's a real band.
Mighty Mighty Boss
Oh,
Tones?
yeah. A ska band.
ska.
What is
They're
this
the
word
best.
you're saying? Ska?
SKA, ska. It's a style of music, Whitney.
Oh, I don't know this.
It was like when punk had trumpets, like Real Big Fish.
I'm gonna look this up while Jim
Okay,
thinks.
you do that, you infant. All right, so get rid of Blink, get rid of Real Big Fish. My options are
Who was Real Big Fish?
Oh, sorry, Mighty Boss Tones.
Okay.
And then that leaves me with what?
Jim has
Radiohead and No
eliminated
Doubt.
Real Big Fish.
I feel like No Doubt really started blowing up right around this time, but I don't know if they were in the movie. Give me Radiohead.
Steel. It's got to be No Doubt.
Yeah, right?
It's got to be No
It's
Doubt.
not. It's
No.
Radiohead.
No.
Was it
Is it Boston?
Point for Nick.
Oh,
Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Shit.
I was like, it's got to be Boston's or. I thought for sure, like, Gwen Stefani had to have made a cameo
I know,
in
I
this.
thought-
I mean,
She
she
did
was
too,
huge
but-
right around that time, but I
Right.
don't think the movie just got there
Gotcha.
ahead of her.
Nick got a point.
Okay. Three's enough for today.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
plenty.
There's
yeah.
a lot of brain work.
All right.
Questions
Pregnancy.
that we don't know anything about.
I'm winning.
You sure are, buddy.
Hell yes.
Man, I don't even remember this question coming through the pipeline, so this will be fun. Hey, y'all. I'm a 25-year-old female and am currently pregnant. I've heard lots of...
We had nothing to do with that. by the way.
Yeah. No, this is how we
Pod
find
therapy-
out. And
Pod
it's one
therapy
of
had
yours.
nothing to do
It's
with this
one of
pregnancy.
yours.
What was 9 months ago?
Yeah, Scoop Fest was 9 months ago, and somebody owes me child support. I've heard lots of stories of pregnant women having intense emotions about situations that they later find laughable. For example, I've had several friends say they had a tearful meltdown because they had a specific craving that they couldn't get in the middle of the night, or maybe their partner ate something that they were planning on eating. I've had my occasional moments of tears or anxieties, but I feel like they're genuine concerns, yet other people don't seem to be taking them seriously. I'll try talking to my husband or to friends about things that I'm sad or worried about, and I feel like I'm like that just because I'm pregnant. It's always met with, ha, or boy, hormones can be pretty crazy when you're pregnant, and I don't feel like I can actually address, or my concerns actually get addressed. To give some examples, I've tried talking about my fears of loneliness during postpartum, concerns about being on the same page as my husband in parenting, and current family drama. Since people seem to respond by saying my feelings are just a product of crazy pregnancy hormones, now when I feel sad or anxious, I find myself essentially saying to myself, well, I'm probably just feeling this way because of hormones, so it's probably not a big deal, and then I just don't deal with whatever I'm feeling. My question would be, how can I tell if my feelings are valid or possibly just overreacting because of my hormones? Does that even matter? How do I address my emotions, whether my emotions are valid or even when maybe I am overreacting? Thanks, Anonymous.
I feel like we had a very similar question.
I'm almost confident we have literally had this question.
This question. Yeah, I thought
but
so too.
Where did you get this one? Because then
The fucking Google Forms thing that you...
Oh.
I didn't send you the Google Forms to start going through the Google Forms. I sent you that so you could see the most updated questions because you were asking about it.
Yeah, I don't understand the updated questions. I just clicked the link that was at the top.
Okay. So the way the Google Forms works, thank you, is when we get new questions, I dump them into the question queue.
No, that's what you used to do. You stopped doing it for some reason.
That's always what I do. And then today we got 2 new questions because we didn't have any new questions. So then I got 2 more because I went to Discord today and I said, hey, everybody, we're empty. Send them in. And then 2 came in. And that's why there's now questions on there that weren't in the queue.
Well-
This is at the top.
Do you want to find a different question? Read the next
Yeah, I mean,
one?
go
Or
ahead.
will I
I mean,
answer this
please
one?
go in and because it sounded familiar to me too. But
Okay.
this was at the top of the Google Forms.
New question.
New question.
Getting habits to stick.
Yeah.
And then I've got a third one from the queue. It's fine. Getting habits to stick. How do you get a habit to stick? I have things that I want to make part of my routine, but it is difficult to stay consistent. I may do it the first week, but then I find myself struggling with follow-through in the following weeks. I already tend to stick to a daily, weekly routine pretty well, such as meditating in the morning and following up with lifting weights at the gym. So it's confusing to me why I am not able to add in additional habits to this existing routine. An example would be that I want to add stretching to my routine. I'll add it to my weekly planner that I create on Sunday nights as stretch for 1 hour this week. The thing is, I don't like to stretch. So when I get to the gym, I will go play basketball or do something I enjoy more than stretching to loosen up. Another example is reading. I enjoy reading and read most nights before bed, but when I have a goal of reading a specific self-improvement book, I find myself reading sci-fi and fantasy books that I enjoy more. How do I implement new habits that I don't enjoy but I know would be good for me? Thanks, Anonymous.
Habits.
I mean, this goes right into personal training, right? Because, this is the fundamental greatest barrier, I think, to entry. Because so many people,
yeah.
When you tell people, I do personal training, I'm big into fitness, everybody celebrates that. Everybody's like, oh, that's fantastic. And almost everybody probably meets that with, I have really been meaning to do that. I have really been meaning to do that any day now. Or I've tried. But then, you tried 25 times and, the consistency falls away. Developing a positive habit to do something that you've decided, you've determined you want to do, but you keep hitting that barrier of entry, or you do something else. You're like, you know what? I'm going to sign up for a personal trainer. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym.
Still feels productive, but
and then
it's
you're
not really what you said you want to do.
I'm just going to go run instead.
Yeah.
And you just go, you know what? I'm just going to do some yoga on YouTube. I'm just going to do that. You know what? I'm just going to not eat as bad. You know,
Yeah.
you just keep negotiating. And I feel like that's so easy to walk away from the task you want to hold yourself accountable to.
I mean, a big part of it is putting some skin in the game and being accountable to somebody else. And this is something I actually was just having a conversation with, funny enough, 2 different people today about this exact topic, which is about
funny.
kind of my business model and how I've got it set up. Because
Mentalfit.com.
Exactly.
Nice.
I don't plug it enough. But the way that I set up my in-person personal training. So I do in-person personal training through my business, but then I also do it for a gym here in town.
Not
so
this gym. A different
I've got clients from both.
Better gym.
Right?
better gym.
And the big thing that's different for me is that when I set up my business, I set it up as almost kind of like a digital punch card where you buy so many sessions and you just use them whenever.
Okay. And when you're out, you just buy another bundle.
Yeah, and then you just buy another bundle and you just use them, which I love because I love that to me, if I was the client, that's what I would want is I'd want some sort of like, I just like, I can spend these however I want. I like having that freedom.
If I want to come twice this week before vacation, I can. And if
I want to do 3 or I want to do 1, whatever, you know, and you don't feel like you're losing out on anything. The gym that I work for, they do it a little bit differently where they're selling it as a package. So you can buy once a week personal training, twice a week personal training, 3 times a week personal training, and you're billed bi-weekly. Okay. So every 2 weeks, you're billed for
no matter what
2, 4, or 6 sessions. Now you don't lose those sessions. So if you only do, so if I sign up, if I sign up for 3 times a week, but I only use 2 of them, that extra one just stays in the bank.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Right? But, and I didn't really like that at first because to me it felt kind of like, I don't want to say a money grab, but it kind of felt like that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's so much more efficient and effective for meeting people's goals. Because like if you're paying for 6 sessions over 2 weeks,
you're more likely to use them.
They're there, right?
Yeah.
And so you're paying for them one way or the other.
Yeah.
And so it forces people to go to the gym on days that they're not feeling it.
I like that.
It's like, shit, I've already paid for
Gotcha.
it.
I do have friends that say that like, oh, I don't want to pay like the cancellation fee or late cancellation fee or something. So I'm going to go. Like they do go.
And I do think that it makes a difference long term. And I don't want to change my business model, but that's something I've kind of been
toying around.
Because it's like, it forces people to go there and then they get results. And at the end of the day, like if you're paying for something and you're not getting results, you're not going to continue to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether that be therapy, golf lessons, or whatever, personal training, if you're not getting the results, you're not going to stick with it. And I think that my package that I've got it set up is at some point, maybe you stop seeing the results or you're not seeing any results and then you just, so is that more a better business model? I don't think so.
When people are so I love that, by the way. I completely agree with the psychology of that. And then whenever you've got like specific challenges that you want people to do, and you're like in this person's case, they're saying, I need to do more stretching. And like I could see a scenario where you're telling your client, this is what we are agreeing that you need to do. Like this is the task. And then if they kind of just keep struggling with doing that and they divert, they keep like, I didn't stretch, but I played basketball. Like I ran some laps. I did. It's like, okay, man, that's not the agreement.
Yeah.
Any advice on like how to incrementally nudge in that direction or even work with it to say, okay, let's roll with your resistance here. Like, fine. You want to play basketball? I want you to do like a certain way of playing in which you just catch yourself stretching as, the opponents are dribbling up the court or whatever.
Yeah. In that particular example, I'd say that's just not going to work.
Right.
Like if you're going to stretch, you got to stretch. You got to do it right. It's like there's no middle ground in there of like, I didn't stretch, but when I was stopped at the stoplight, I kind of pushed my foot hard. And, it doesn't. No, that's not the same thing. So there does have to be some level of kind of commitment to like doing it. And that's where I feel like having somebody there who's going to hold you accountable to it is going to be very important.
Yep.
Because there is no way to kind of half-ass it, and still make it beneficial. The other thing though, too, to think about is like, I'll do it because it's good for me, but if it's something you absolutely hate and are not willing to do, then maybe this just isn't for you. Like the stretching thing, I think is very beneficial. And yes, that's going to help you in the long term. And you should definitely do that. But like when you're talking about reading books, like I want to read self-improvement books, but I keep finding myself reading sci-fi and fantasy. Right. How hard do you want to force yourself to read something you're not interested in reading?
Right.
As opposed to, I think going to the gym or exercise or something like that is a little bit different because there are definite scientific, advantages or long-term effects of doing that, but there are also different ways in which you can do it.
Right.
There's only one way to read a book. A couple ways. I guess you can book on audiobooks and stuff like that. But like if you're going to exercise, okay, that doesn't necessarily have to mean resistance training. It doesn't necessarily have to mean running. It doesn't have to mean high intensity interval training. There's different ways in which you can do that, or you can kind of play around and find different things, right? So you have to find a different way of doing it that's still going to be beneficial for you. So, I mean, that's what I would suggest is kind of finding those different ways or other mechanisms.
I like that you're also granting permission to challenge the question of like, hey, you're forcing yourself to take this medicine, but you seem to really not want to do it, man.
Yeah.
And at some point, can we kind of ask, why are you forcing that, right? Like you're reading these self-help books because you think that there's going to be something on the other side of this, or you want to check these off your self-care list. And okay, maybe self-care was reading sci-fi, maybe just, zoning out and just being, whatever. It wasn't productive. Not everything has to be. And sometimes there's like this hyper productivity culture, especially in the manosphere, where it's like, what did you do today? And like this David Goggins shit where it's like, what'd you do today, bitch? Oh, did you read a book? Was it a self-help book or was it a fucking space pirate sci-fi? And it's like, Jesus, chill the fuck out, Royd. Like, let's just,
You said David Goggins. I definitely heard Walton Goggins and was very confused as to why Walton Goggins was yelling at you.
I love that guy.
Motivating, driven.
I didn't know he did that kind of stuff.
So angry.
He runs miles.
Wow.
So I like that you're opening
Good
up
for
the
you,
door
Walton Goggins.
to question that, because I think a lot of us there's like especially that kind of vibe. I'm also a big fan of changing the format. So like for me, I refuse to read self-help books or anything psychology related. My argument is I did a lot of that shit for tests. I'm done. And like I keep up with papers and stuff, but I microdose this information.
Same.
When I read, that is for me, and it is literally sci-fi. Like that is what I want to read.
Yeah.
But like I will download the occasional, like a lot of podcasts or a lot of Audible books, and then I kick it up to 2 speed or 3 speed. 3's insane, but like 2.
3's a lot.
And I'll just like take that and like I'll grab as much information as I can, or I'll do a lot of like articles and I'll use ChatGPT. And I'll just dump it in there and be like, summarize this and give me the bullets, right?
Yeah.
And that way I'm
that's
learning
awesome.
from it
Yeah.
and trying to incorporate it, but not necessarily sitting there turning pages. Like, especially self-help books.
That's a really
so
good
much of
point.
it is just fucking sawdust.
Yes.
It is just empty fucking fluff.
It's like back when I was young,
Here's
I
this
had a
pivotal
whole...
message that you need to get from me. The message is work really hard and forgive yourself sometimes. Now here's 10 stories of people doing this.
Yes, it
And
really
it's
is.
like, dude,
That's
fuck
true.
this. Like, I don't know. Like, you could reduce the whole thing to the table of contents.
Yeah.
And just be fine with that.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, most self-help books, by like the way they're laid out, like they could be a pamphlet.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
they are the epitome of this could have been an email.
Yes, oftentimes.
Totally.
And I love AI because I now do that. Like every
Yeah.
time there's
That
like a
is really
famous like
smart.
self-help book, I just tell the
That
AI,
checks out.
summarize this, give me the bullets for each major point, give me the takeaways. That's all I want.
That's awesome. My go-to thoughts behind this were if you're really trying to incorporate a new habit that you don't like, I think this is probably from Atomic Habits, speaking of self-help books, is like stacking it with something you do like. So like with the reading, I would say if you're reading every night anyway, people normally say like read 10 pages a night. If you're just trying to get through a book, like 10 pages, most of us could probably like get through 10 pages. If you're already a reader, that would be like a breeze.
Sure.
So like you go to lay down at night, just read 10 pages of the book that you like have to read, and then go read your reward is the sci-fi fantasy after.
Then you get to read the Bible.
yeah, do that.
The ultimate reward.
Actually, okay, so I love that idea, and what I've noticed for myself as far as like reading, because I always, once I get into it, I typically enjoy it. It's just it's hard for
to
me to get
start.
motivated to do it. But I've noticed I can't read in bed. I will read 2 sentences and I'm asleep. Like I just
I'm with you 100%.
when I lay down in bed, I am asleep.
Do you have like a reading nook, a reading corner?
No, actually, what has helped me a lot is like if I want to read, I plan at night. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have a glass of whiskey. I'm going to have a cigar.
Okay.
And I'm going to go out and I'm going to read.
Oh, that sounds
Okay.
lovely.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then
set yourself up.
yeah. And then I could
You're
read.
attaching it to the
I could
fun
read,
stuff.
Exactly.
a glass
Okay.
of Cavassier.
I could read, I could be out there for a couple hours.
I like that
Yes.
Jim has
Reading,
no idea what Cavassier is.
No,
Yeah.
I assume it's some kind of velvet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Fabric of some kind.
It was a
Yeah.
band in
Ah,
the late 70s.
I believe it was a comedian on 90s sitcoms.
DEFCON.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's what the ladies' man always drank, is what it is.
The ladies' man.
I'm just sitting here with my glass of Cavassier.
Oh,
A lady.
The stretching's harder. Gosh, because you're right, Jim. You started off for like the physical fitness stuff. Like, how do you just get started?
Yeah.
And it sounds like they kind of put in like a specific goal of 1 hour a week. But again, you got to tie that to something else. If you're, again, I guess if you're meditating, like, does it have to be like when you're at the gym before you work out, or can it be just like in the evenings while you watch a show, or I don't know.
I mean, that's the nice thing about stretching is like it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, you told me like what.
But I kind of agree with your point earlier that you almost need that accountability if it can be done. Because I realize not everything is just throw money at it and make it better.
Yeah.
Like, but a personal accountability partner or somebody that you're doing this with. I think
There's actually a couple places. I know there's a couple places in Vegas where it's like a gym membership, except all it is stretching.
Oh. I've seen one of these.
Yeah, there's
like
one called
Stretch
Stretch
Zone.
Lab that I've seen, and they
Okay.
stretch you. It's like a physical training.
Like that, I've actually consired doing that myself because
it actually looks really
my
good.
hips are incredibly tight and it causes low back issues.
So tight.
Anyway,
Jim knows.
I love these hips.
No, those
Nick's
are
hips
good
don't lie.
responses.
They're so
They
tight.
don't.
Tight like a twigger. Yeah, so this is a very relatable thing, Ryder. And, you know, I definitely just want to normalize it. But at the same time, I love this advice of just personal accountability by attaching yourself to obligations, I think goes a long way. And also what Nick said about like, okay, but also allowing yourself to challenge some of these responsibilities, some of
Yes,
these obligations.
I like that.
Why
Why
are
do
you
you
doing
have
that?
to? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times we just get sucked into like the social media sphere and it just says, no, this is what you need to do. And then you feel shame and guilt when you're not doing it. And a lot of times I'm like, you know what, fuck that.
Yeah, and you're doing other things that sound
Yeah.
great. You're going to the gym, you're meditating.
Right.
Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, do it poorly. And
Don't sweat
get
it too
something
much.
done.
Yeah.
Exactly. And stretch
You'll
it
be
out.
fine.
Stretch it out.
You'll be
Anyway.
fine.
Or you can get to where you really like. I really enjoy the stretching.
Do you?
Stretching
are, you
feels.
are you a stretcher?
I am.
Okay.
Like I will stretch. I will like in the evenings when I'm winding down for the night.
that
Like
sounds lovely.
I'll just stretch and
Okay.
kind of get the day out of me a little bit.
I like that.
And it's really lovely.
It does feel great.
It
when
does.
when you get into it, you're always like, this is the best.
Yeah.
This was lovely.
Do you like listen to music, or
I'll
you're
have like the
just...
TV on,
Oh,
or maybe
okay,
listen to
okay,
music or
okay.
whatever.
Okay.
But like
Okay.
I'll usually just do it in the living room and just kind of as the night is winding down. Maybe I'm getting ready for bed, or maybe I'm going to sit down and like watch a show with the wife or something. But like whatever it is, like I do like 15, 20 minutes.
Do you have a little bit of a
that's nice.
routine, or is it just
Little
kind of
bit.
whatever I'm feeling?
It's a little bit of a routine, but it's kind of
Yeah.
just developed and you know little stretches that I've picked up from different physical therapists over the years
yeah.
for
good point.
different little things that bother me here and there.
That's the
and,
move,
You know,
man.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
physical therapists. That's an area
Turns out
that
they
I-
really know that shit.
Well, yeah, that was an area I was so ignorant about, and then eventually discovered how much they know. And I remember somebody had this advice on the internet. It was like, just schedule an appointment with a physical therapist and just ask for homework, ask for exercises, like give them a basic understanding of where you struggle. They have so much that you just think like, wouldn't that just be online? It's like, no, they will show you how to do it.
Literally, like I'll talk to a physical therapist and I'll be like, this part of my back hurts. I usually do this stretch for that area of my back, and that doesn't seem to be helping. And they'll be like, oh, no, don't do that. Do this. And they'll just show me a completely different move.
Wow.
And I'll go like, oh, and I'll try it. Be like, holy shit, that just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just did it.
Wow. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Wow.
All this talk of stretching is really getting me achy right now. I'm just
Let's
like,
stretch
I'm
for
kind
the
of
rest of
hurting.
the-
Like, I don't know, my back kind of does.
I know.
that.
I did see Jacob over there stretching his
everybody take a deep
arm.
breath. Just kind of get it out there.
Yeah.
My back's
Also, we have one of those inversion tables at the show.
Oh my god.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I'll try to spend a couple of minutes a day just like
awesome.
hanging there upside, like literally like a minute or two.
Yeah.
And it just stretches my back out. It elongates my spine a little bit.
Oh yeah.
We also have trapezes at work, so I can go hang from
Just
a trapeze.
swing around.
Wow.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Trapeze
Literally just, like,
access.
hang.
I always forget that you work at that weird sex place.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a lot of useful shit
Sex
there.
swing.
That's
I
really
mean, they
cool.
call it a sex swing, but I call it a trapeze.
Yeah, well, yeah. I had to be
Potato.
Because I trap
Potato.
people in it
It's with ease.
with ease.
Anyway, Ryder, good luck
And
with
they eat
this.
peas.
Hopefully, we gave you some feedback on it. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back,
You know
we're
how to
gonna-
get there? They ride donkeys.
There it is. We're going to talk about, is working to overcome certain fears even worth it? You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Not if it's bears.
That's
Be afraid of
right.
bears.
Always
They're
be afraid
very
of bears.
dangerous.
Yes.
Today's episode is brought to you by Smitty Scoop, Mason Miller, Tess Miller, Byler T, Paris, Team Monaco, Oscar Swanrose, Hannah Marie, Emma Kane, and Myra. And if you would like to sponsor the show, become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy.
All right. Since the last break, I have read this AI document that describes all of Clueless.
Okay, good.
And so I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go now. Okay.
Probably the same
Cheater.
AI document that I got these
I'm like, cheater.
All right. Let's see here. Jacob. What phrase does Cher use when she disagrees with someone?
Ah, shit.
Go fuck yourself in the ass.
That's what it was?
That was.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
You can obviously
I'm shooting
steal,
from the hip
right?
on this
Very,
one.
Yeah.
No,
Good for
no,
two.
you shut the hell up
Yeah,
over
nobody
there.
wants your opinion.
You know this, Jacob.
Is she the as if? Did she say as if?
Oh.
She does.
Okay,
Oh,
there we go.
jeez. God, I
was like,
totally
you got
forgot
this
about
one.
that. Wow.
I like that Whitney
F.
genuinely tried to steal
I was
with my
like,
joke answer.
because if you don't know this, then you deserve to have it
Chomping
stolen.
at the bit, buddy. It's a shark
That's-
with blood in the
that was
water.
a softball.
She wants
okay?
these
I'll take
points.
I know,
God
and
damn.
well done.
We are going to get
And Jacob
fucked
takes
up.
the lead.
Crap, that's
Well,
2
yeah, he's got
points.
the two
Shit.
now. Yeah.
God damn it.
All right, Whitney.
Yeah.
What subject is Cher's father a lawyer in?
Oh, my God. Wow. I know he's really rich.
Oh my gosh. He has her help with highlighting phone calls. I don't know. Okay, I need options.
As if.
Criminal defense, environmental law, litigation, corporate law.
Good Lord.
Least answer
Lord.
answers.
Yeah. Lawyer 1 or lawyer 2.
Apparently, they did not have a writing intern available to flesh out the dad's career a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like
I mean, it kind of makes sense. I just watched the movie today. So like it makes sense given a lot of their conversations
Yeah.
and then her behavior in school, negotiating her grades,
That's
and
right.
all of that. And so there's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
it's not environmental. It's the other ones were criminal, litigation, and what?
Corporate law.
Oh.
Litigation.
Correct.
Yay!
Wow. Good
Isn't it
job.
all litigation?
That's what I thought. I was like, is that
Okay,
just...
so I just went to
All-
ChatGPT.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
It seems
Yeah.
like
It's
kind
more of
like,
a thing in all
I'm not
of
making
law.
fun of you. I'm making
Yeah.
fun of the question.
No, I
Yeah.
get it. I get it.
Yay, I'm tied with Jacob now. Damn.
Jeez.
As F.
And I'm still at 0. Oh, I didn't get a question this round.
No, you haven't yet.
Okay.
He's working on
We
it
can
over
stop
there.
now if you want.
I mean, I'm honestly about the same either way.
No, I need an
does-
option to steal.
What does Ty call Cher after they're falling out at the mall?
I need a
Ooh.
Cunt wallet.
That's
a
probably,
good
I
guess.
hope that's it.
A, cunt wallet.
Yeah.
A snob.
Uh,
B, a virgin.
oh.
C, a selfish brat. Or D, a fashion disaster.
Oh, damn it. It's probably the virgin thing, because then doesn't she fuck her brother or something? Yeah,
I think
give me
that's cruel
virgin.
intention.
I don't want to give away the.
Yeah, don't give anything else away.
After 30 years, they can all go fuck themselves. Give me virgin.
Correct.
Yeah. And then she fucks her brother, who
She's
is
just a-
Ant-Man.
What?
Stepbrother.
Virgin.
I don't remember any of that.
Okay, so Paul Rudd played her.
There it is.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
I know that Paul Rudd is in it
Yeah.
because they
Yes.
mentioned that on RuPaul.
Bangs
Yes.
Paul Rudd. Prove a point.
Yeah, I wonder how often that happens.
How often
Well, 'cause they
stepbrothers
were-
have sex
Well,
with Paul
not,
Rudd?
no, but like actually in a relationship, not just have sex, but like a
Okay.
stepbrother because they were step siblings for
Yeah.
sounds like a short period of time.
Have you never heard of Pornhub? Because I feel like you've never heard of Pornhub. Because
what?
Okay, yeah.
What
I need
hub?
to show you some things because it's actually very common. It turns out that's almost all that's happening.
They're obviously in
I
relationships
don't
that
even
they're
think other
fucking.
kinds of sex exist anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's
Stepmom.
always a step
Stepmom
person. Yeah.
and step person, yeah.
stepsister.
I mean, a lot of this is algorithm, so it kind of depends on what you click.
No, that can't possibly be true.
18-year-olds.
Trust me, bro. It's all anal beads and wax. It's just, Jesus, the world is falling
A lot
apart.
of suffocation
A lot
porn.
of suffocation shit. Yeah, it's really getting dirty out there. So I got a point for that, right? So I have 1 and it's
Yeah.
2-2?
Yeah.
All right, fuck, I'm going to lose.
For whatever it's worth.
All right, I emailed you all this question, by the way. Is working to overcome certain fears even worth it? Hello, first of all, thank you for the pod. I look forward to listening every week and have been for a year. I heard the call for questions and will try to make this one short and sweet. I live in a flat, landlocked state, and I am very afraid of both heights and fish. Yes, fish. I would say it's a pretty big
How'd they
fear.
spell fish?
P-H-
With an F?
Yeah,
so it is the band. Just afraid of the band.
Specifically fish.
Terrified.
I would say it's a pretty big fear, but never impacts my day-to-day because of where I live. However, I would love to be able to experience the same fun things others are. I missed out on snorkeling and paragliding on my last vacation due to it, and I will not swim in natural water or do things like roller coasters. I do wish I could do these things, but doing it only comes up, being that it only comes up once a year, is it worth it to even go through the process of overcoming it? If so, what is the best way for me to get past these fears? I know exposure therapy is a thing, but I would really feel silly going through therapy for fears that don't come up in my life very often. Thanks for your advice and the show. Signed, Landlocked Lady.
Okay, did I completely misunderstand this? Landlocked lady's fear of fish has kept her off roller coasters?
No, there's
No,
several
heights.
things.
She said
So she
heights
won't
and
swim
fish.
in
I missed
natural
heights.
water.
Yeah, heights
heights
and
is
fish.
I was like,
there. Yeah.
I don't
She's
know,
afraid of very tall fish.
Yeah. I don't want to ride very tall fish because that could go
If
bad.
giraffe and fish ever have babies together,
Yeah.
She's
She's
screwed.
done.
this listener is going to be just
She is
fucked.
done. Plesiosaurs are the scariest possible thing to her.
Yeah, heights and fish, like most flatlanders, you know. Are you
So how
scared
did
of
you
heights?
overcome your fears of
So that's what's really
being
interesting with
2
heights
feet above the ground?
is like kind of. I was kind of afraid of heights. I don't think it had anything to do with living in Iowa, but like I remember in Boy Scouts we would go rock climbing and stuff like that. And I feel like I kind of got over it. Like I had a fear of it, but it didn't stop me necessarily from doing things. I would just kind of work through it, you know. But the thing that still bothers me to this day is like if I go to Allegiant Stadium and I go right up to the railing up in the very top,
buddy.
top
Yep.
deck. Okay,
Ugh.
looking down never bothers me.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, my God. I can feel my
Looking
balls in my throat.
up bothers me.
What?
Looking up is very scary
Because
to me.
of your shame toward God?
He's watching.
Makes a lot of sense.
But it's something
that Lutheran guilt inside of you.
No, what it is it's like looking down, I can see what's down there.
You
like
can
I
stay
know I'm
stable.
someplace high. I know I'm safe. I can see the railing and see all this stuff. But when I look up,
In Allegiant.
knowing any place.
Oh, okay.
Any place where I'm near a ledge.
Oh.
It's like looking up
Oh,
now
I
because
see.
I can't
You've lost
visually see the
perspective.
danger.
I gotcha. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so I've lost track of the
Like
danger.
if your back was
so then
faced
it's
against
like,
a window.
How do you do on
Yeah, like
ladders?
that, exactly like that.
Can you go up
Thank
ladders?
you. I'd forgotten until now.
I haven't. There's been a guy
No.
out there staring at us this whole time, looking at you.
Why is he masturbating?
Yeah, that was a bonus.
We all know why.
No, ladders don't bother me so much. But again, like if I'm climbing a ladder and I'm looking down, I'm fine. But if I'm climbing a ladder and I look up,
Yeah.
then that bothers me.
All right. So have any of you had to overcome a fear? Like you got, and I appreciate what the writer's saying here because I kind of agree. Like there's some shit in my life that I've decided, yes, that's going to perpetually be a problem, but it so rarely fucking
Dolphins.
matters. I will swim with the dolphins. I do.
You haven't.
I've been in the ocean.
He avoided getting on a plane that he did a staycation
Yeah.
without staying in a hotel.
There were good reasons for this.
He
A
just
staycation with
Fine.
at his house.
I'm not getting closer to the 40 before 40.
I guess technically I did a staycation this afternoon. Though.
Yeah.
You
I
did.
think we've
You
all.
went to the
I've been on a
strip.
staycation
It's a
for 8
thing.
years now.
People go on staycations. Have any of you overcome some kind of like, stubborn fear that, in this case, it's like, okay, but it wasn't something I had to face all the time, but at some point it just annoyed me enough that I was like, all right, I'm going to overcome this.
I mean, my go-to is usually flying. Like
Okay.
I think I've said this before. I had a whole moment when I was like a senior in high school where I took a short flight, but all of a sudden it was just like an overwhelming fear came out of nowhere. I've flown since I was a child. That like I had done it, never thought a thing about it. Just something felt different. And I was like hyperventilating, somehow made it home. I don't know. I guess I flew back home. But after that, like I missed one of my cousin's weddings. She bought me a plane ticket. I did not go.
Wow. Okay.
And I made other reasons that weren't like just excuses, but like they were mostly excuses to not get on a plane again for some time after that, for probably like a year or two. But I think there was a point where I was like, am I going to let this stop me from like flying overseas or seeing like, I don't know, just new cultures, all of that. And then it was scary the first time I flew overseas. Like that's a whole weird mental,
That's why I don't go.
There's just an ocean there. Like, great.
They don't have laws.
And then you
or
realize it
freedom.
doesn't matter once you're in the air for like 2 hours. You're like, it's fine. But I don't know. I think in those moments, it was definitely like putting yourself in those situations, using calming techniques, like just deep breathing, thinking different thoughts, like all of that does help until finally your body just exhausts itself. It can't stay in a state of anxiety for forever.
Yeah.
It just stops. You know, it might restart again after some time, but it kind of does.
I mean, I also had a fear of flying, and I like my parents, like they would use that to like manipulate me into good behavior. Because they'd be like if I was not acting up, they're just like, all right, we're gonna get on a plane, we're gonna go, and they'd like drive to the airport,
Flying to Disneyland.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to go.
It's like, fine, I'll do whatever you want. I
just want to go to Dollar General.
Don't get me on a plane. And
bizarre.
I mean, part of that was because like I remember at a very young age watching La Bamba. And also, like,
That ruins
you have to
I
remember,
love
like,
that movie, and yes, terrifying.
lives have to get ruined by La Bamba before we take action as a country?
But I mean, I also grew up 20 minutes from the site of the crash, too. You know, like, so
I
like,
didn't know that.
I mean, I
And they
always
left all the bodies
saw it.
there. You
Can
know,
we do
as
La
part of the
Bamba trivia
memorial.
next week?
Oh, yes.
I should do La Bamba trivia.
No, you
Anyway, yeah, I could do a whole trivia
No,
just on that
stop it.
crash.
That's a
Anyway,
terrible idea.
but yeah, so like I had a big fear of that. I think what worked out for me, and everybody's different. Like for you, Whitney, it was kind of like just kind
Felt
of
like
throwing
out of
yourself in
nowhere,
there and
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was like rationalizing
There,
my
yeah.
fears.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Planes
remember
are
kinda
safer
thinking
than like cars. I'd
that,
try and tell myself
number
that.
one, and the other thing too is like understanding that like any kind of bump or anything that would happen would just cause me anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, but then just watch the flight attendant.
I do that too. I
Oh,
watch the
because, like,
flight attendant
if-
see if they're
Yeah,
scared.
because like, look, if
They
this
don't
thing's,
give a
if
fuck.
this
They're
thing's crashing, they're not going to be like, oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be as scared
Surf
as anybody
sprite.
else.
Yes.
Right. But they're the experts on that plane.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's what they do for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, every single day.
Right.
You know, and so like if they're just walking around no big deal, then that's an indicator to me of how my behavior should also
yes,
be.
I do the same thing.
You know, the other thing too that I remember a trip to Costa Rica where I don't know how I thought of this, but like we rented a car and we were driving around Costa Rica, and like every single bump in the road, like it was just a really bumpy road, and this car had no shocks or whatever. And then I remember on the flight back thinking like, this flight is so much smoother
Yeah.
than the road we were just driving on. And then I started thinking about it like, almost every flight I'm on is smoother than every road I
Right.
drive on.
Yes.
Right.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
and when you think about it that way, it's like, oh, so why are all these little bumps on a plane
Right.
causing me anxiety when these bumps in a car don't? you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So like, for me, it's a lot of rationalization.
Well,
I think it's a really tricky thing to slice through because,
Yeah.
like, for me, one of my big fears, surprising nobody, was
spiders.
Fuck them. I'm still
Wasps.
terrified. Yeah, those two. Throw that in there. I don't like them at all. Though I have
Sharks.
killed them with my bare hands.
Literally anything that's not in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly, Jacob's kind of
Literally
intimidating. though.
everything
Like,
that is in this
a lot of things in the room too. I'm really uncomfortable with. Mine was swallowing medication.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
So-
bad at it.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of it, but I'm bad at it. Is that what you mean?
I was very afraid. So, like, I actually do to this day. I actually have a very real phobia of choking. So as much as we joked about autoerotic exfoliation porn, which I do enjoy,
Well,
as
yeah,
much
that's
as the next
different.
person.
He can't pronounce
That's
it,
like
but he
outer.
enjoys
I can't
it.
pronounce it.
That's outer.
I enjoy
external.
a lot of things
Yeah.
that I can't pronounce.
So like I choked on several things as a child and had some really close calls.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there it is. And so like it was scary stuff. And so I was old enough to be like really
bet.
traumatized by it. There it is. And so later when it was like, okay, you need medicine as a kid, I would take the chewables, right? So your mom would give you the liquid one,
Sure.
little alligator thing.
Now you
or
take
give
adult
you the chewables,
gummies.
right? Well, then when I got old enough, it was like, hey, when you had a headache or something was going on, you were offered the liquid caps or you got to swallow the actual pill. And I could not do it.
You
Like,
do the BP powder?
oh, it was tough, man. I'd have this like physical reaction where like my throat would close.
Tightness.
Right.
Because yeah, I mean, I'm scared. It's obviously a traumatic reaction. So it was one of these things where it was like, I thought, you know what? Fuck this. I could just like the writer, I could probably go the rest of my life and just occasionally this will be a bad afternoon, but I'll always be able to go and find a children's version of this medicine and take extra dose of it or a chewable or something. And like
Suppositories.
of course, I was fine with that. And I preferred that. Yeah, I tried to take all the things.
He's
It
used,
is faster
he's used to
acting.
that.
It was
He's
much
used to
faster
that.
acting.
It is faster acting.
So it was really, really tough.
Oh, butt chugging.
And I remember my older cousin had to help me at this. We were at an airport back before 9/11. So this is back when you'd hang out the airport like to drop off family members and stuff. So you get there 2 hours early and sometimes you just like walk right through security and then just hanging out, saying goodbye to grandma. And we were there and I just had a monster headache. And my aunt gave me an Advil liquid gel or whatever that I need to swallow. And I desperately wanted to feel better. And I was really struggling. It was like, I was a teenager at the time. And I remember like coming to tears because I was like, fuck, this sucks. Like, I just want to feel better. Everybody can take fucking medicine. Why can I not take medicine? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, and my older cousin was there and he was just like really kind, just like coaching me through it. And he's like, all right, buddy, like, let's try to like fill up a whole fucking cup of water and just like throw this pill in there. And just start chugging the fuck out of this water. And just like, don't even try to detect the pill.
Yeah.
Just guzzle
just
the
drinking
fucking
water.
right?
Yeah.
And so like, ultimately, I failed at that multiple times
Yeah.
somehow. But
I can
eventually
picture
got
putting
it
the
done.
pills in the water and them just sinking to the bottom and then chugging the entire cup of water.
That's what happened.
And they just stick to the
Yeah,
bottom
Yeah,
of the
now
cup.
you're full.
Or eventually they
Can't
would just
drink
hit my
anymore.
lips because my lips would like purse like really
Right.
Yeah, like,
small.
I can
And I'd just be
tell.
like sitting there like trying. Yeah, exactly. You couldn't get a pee through that bitch.
Yeah.
But eventually this happened. So writer, like for me, there's a part of me that says you've got to learn to challenge these things, even though they're intermittent. But then there's another part of me that says, I don't know about this culture that says everything needs to be challenged just because you dislike it.
Yeah.
I don't like to ride roller coasters. When I was a kid, I disliked it because I was fearful of them. Then I rode plenty of them, and I went through a phase as a young person in middle school and high school. I was like, oh, it's the best fucking thing ever. And then became an adult, and I was like, this fucking sucks. Like I always
now
get a
I'm
headache
hurt.
on these things.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
they
love
hurt.
roller
coasters.
I get inner ear problems. Like fuck this, I'm good. I will have a better time not
Yeah.
riding this shit.
Okay, so when it comes to roller coasters, because I did have a fear of roller coasters, I would not get on a roller coaster. Even through high school, I didn't like
Wow.
roller coasters.
I loved roller
It wasn't
coasters.
until college that I finally did. And what worked for me, again, is like kind of
Guzzling
changing
all
my
the water at once?
perspective. No, learning to swallow pills. That's what worked for me in riding roller coasters.
Then he's passed out.
All related,
Right?
man.
No, but what worked for me is just imagining that I'm in control of it.
Okay.
Like
You're driving
if I
it.
just imagine that I'm driving this roller coaster, then it
like
was
this.
fucking amazing.
I like this
I
a
had a
lot.
blast.
I like this a
on
lot.
roller coasters because
Nick has to be in
honestly,
control.
yeah, that's what it is.
I just
It's
see him
like,
in the front wearing a little Napoleon hat, and he's like, to the right.
I mean, I remember
beckoning with his hands.
I remember making this joke when I was
Now
in
loop the
college,
loop.
just like with my fear of planes. Like if the pilot came on and it's like, "Hey, sorry, this plane's gonna crash," that would be devastating for me. But if they just said like, "So we're just gonna let Nick fly it until it's done," I'd be fine with it.
Interesting.
Like if it's gonna crash, let me be the one to do it.
Okay, I see.
Because
It's
like
being out
I just,
of control.
it's the lack
Yeah.
of control.
Right.
Like if I
Yeah.
have control of it, then it's like okay, then I feel like
Yeah.
even though I've got zero flight experience whatsoever, I feel like I can do a better job
I
at
can
this.
crash
the
it as good as
shit out of
anybody.
this plane.
Yeah, I'll crash this plane. That's
So,
fine.
Nick, you're not into like the roller coasters in the dark, like isn't that
I like
Space
Disney.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Space Mountain fucking sucks.
I don't think I've ever done a roller
You're an
coaster.
idiot.
Dude, there's no. It's the worst.
It's awesome.
I
no,
love
it's
it. That's my
terrible.
favorite thing about roller coaster. I'm like, anything could.
Yeah.
Like I'm not in control is
Oh, it's
great.
great.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think I'd like that.
I'm with Nick on this. That thing's garbage. I hate fucking roller coasters, especially not knowing where the fuck you're going. That's dumb.
Oh, it's so
There's
fun.
one in Texas that goes backwards.
Yeah,
Remember this? The
Batman
Judge
or
Roy
the Freeze.
Scream or something like that?
Judge Roy Scream does
God,
that too. Yeah.
fucking sucked.
Wow.
It's terrible.
Take me back.
So my point there, writer, is that not everything needs to be challenged merely because you find yourself phobic of it or scared of it. And like, I don't know, like to me, it's like, fuck society. Fuck what people say is entertaining. Like,
Jim's like, I can stay
the
in my
rest of your
house.
life
though.
not
there
fishing.
are some things
yeah,
that
I
you
don't go to
need to
Europe.
figure out.
Fuck that shit.
Things like swallowing a pill is something that you need to figure out.
Was useful to do. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, like I have a terrible gag reflex. I have a very sensitive gag reflex. Like getting X-rays at the dentist. That sets them
They
off.
put that thing.
Yeah. And the dentist actually helped me fix it one time.
Teeth things.
The dentist
When
helped.
you brush your teeth, do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I do
every
that-
time.
I do that
I
Every
don't do it when
time.
I brush my teeth.
I do.
Toothbrush is fine, but like the big plate thing that they have to
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
in your mouth for X-rays.
Oh,
and that kind
that's
of thing.
the worst.
And then like
Yeah.
a big pill like that. I have a hard time swallowing big
Every
pills.
time I'm brushing my teeth, Laura can hear it.
Yes,
when I start
I get
gagging.
self-conscious when I'm in front of people.
she's like, you don't have to stick it back that far.
I do. That's where all the like bad breath
I
is.
know. That's what I say too. It's like, yes, that's what I gotta get.
She
that
hears the
spot back
vibrating
there.
and she hears you doing it, but you know, you're not in the bathroom. What's going on? I'm practicing.
So, did you get over it?
Well, like the dentist, one of my dentists actually helped me with that, and she was like, when we're putting the thing in your mouth for the X-rays, and this works for swallowing big pills for me too.
Yeah.
She's like, wiggle your toes.
Oh.
Because it just gives you something else to concentrate on that
Okay.
is physical
Yeah.
that you can just do. And now, like, even like if I'm in my bathroom and have, a big, I take, a big vitamin capsule thing
Yeah.
That's why
every
I
day.
can't take them.
Multivitamin.
Yeah. And like, if sometimes still I have trouble, like I'll kind of hack it up or something.
Peter does that too sometimes. Like, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
See, I've
Hairball.
gotten to the point now where I can just swallow pills without any water. Or anything. I
Oh
can
my
just-
God, you're
A small,
freak
I can
of
do that with
nature.
small ones.
Yeah.
Like I can do that with like an Advil or something.
Yeah.
What's
I
wrong
don't. I
with
mean,
you?
I don't prefer to do it that
not
way.
okay.
No.
I don't
could
like to do
never.
it that way.
No, I
but
don't
like,
seek it out.
But
I
I'll
can
do it
do
for $20.
If I've got a headache or something and I've got some Excedrin and I don't have any water, like
Yeah.
I'll
do
the
it.
sink.
Jesus
I'll drink
Christ.
sink water
Yeah.
before that.
Yeah, but Nick's out on the golf course where there's no water available except for the pond.
Or I'll just urinate in my hand.
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
I just need a little
Just
bit
do
of
it because
liquid.
it tastes
just
good. I
something.
like the way
You
it
can only
tastes.
cycle it 3 times though. You have to, and then you have to just pee it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just keep doing that.
I like the idea of distracting though. I
Yeah.
do that with the phlebotomist. Like whenever I get
Oh.
blood drawn
Oh,
and
yeah?
stuff, I have to
Yeah.
like have my like YouTube on like my phone. And they'll be like, okay, so do you
Just
we need
not
to know
looking.
anything? And I'm like, what you need to know is stop talking to me.
Just do
and
your
just
thing.
do this without any prep. Don't
And see, that's
warn
so-
me.
when
just
I'm getting
go.
blood drawn, I really enjoy watching the blood
fucking
like
weird.
flow out
No.
of me and fill up
Makes
the
me
little vial.
queasy.
Absolute sadist.
See, I don't think I like that.
But now the writer said something about the fish. So like, I had an experience the first time I guess that I went to Hawaii. We were out snorkeling way out at sea. Like we'd gone out to I forget why we were out there, but we had gone like well away from the island, so we were really out at sea. Mm-hmm. And we were snorkeling right over an ocean
Little
land
reef.
shelf.
Yes.
And so the area that we were in, it was probably 60 to 90 feet deep, somewhere in that neighborhood. But then just over to the side of us, there was a drop off.
Oh, I do not like
and just
this.
the dark,
It's
that
dark
darkness
blue.
down there. And to the writer, I have no trouble swimming in open water. I've never had any kind of phobia with that. It simply doesn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
In that water, in that
Yes.
moment, in looking over that ledge, something in the back part of that ancient lizard brain, just alarm bells started going off.
Yep.
And I was like, this is not,
not
where
meant to be
I'm
here.
not at the top of the food chain here.
Nope.
I am well down the food chain from where I am used to being right now. And I didn't get out. It wasn't
Gonna
enough
swim
to
away from that ledge.
no, it wasn't enough to make me change any practice that I was doing. Like I was still just doing my thing
Okay.
up there and having a nice time. But I was aware that alarm bell was going off. And I was able to go through it and it was fine. But I was very aware and like my pulse increased, everything, all of the little nervous reactions just happened. And then I got much calmer when I got out of the water.
That was the survival part of your brain saying, dude, you are a Broadway show sound guy. Get the fuck out of
What
there.
are you doing?
Have you ever
This is
been
not your
out,
environment.
You've been out in like a deep like lake or like the ocean, like you're swimming, and then you kind of go a little too deep down, and you feel that icy water.
Oh yeah. Just the cold water.
And you're like, oh no.
I don't care
Like,
about that. That's refreshing.
Yeah,
Here
that's
there
fine.
be monsters.
All of us
like
are
I
like,
should
nah.
not be near this.
That's where you
No.
mark your territory. That's where you.
Yeah, you make that water warm.
you just pee.
But I definitely agree with that because I remember I went to Discovery Cove once in Florida, and that was my first time like snorkeling with fish, and it was
Okay.
like, I mean, you're in a giant aquarium.
Okay.
Like
Right.
you're not out in the open water. But I remember I never really thought much about it, but it was freaky just being and like swimming and seeing a school of fish come right at you and they just go right around you.
Wow.
And it was just really
Because there are all these animals, out in the ocean especially.
Yeah.
There are all of these animals that they literally don't care about you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You are a 0 on their attention meter.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember, like, we were
My anxiety says I'm right on their attention
Yeah.
meter.
exactly.
Target.
Like, we were in Bermuda for the Scoop cruise years ago, and I was snorkeling out there, and they have this species of parrotfish. But parrotfish are fish that they take bites out of the coral reef.
They bite they
Yeah.
poop
And
out
it's,
like sand.
And I've read, I don't know how true this is. I believe there's some grain of truth to this. Most of the beaches in the world are the result of parrotfish eating coral reefs.
It's
Yeah.
poop.
Yeah,
Poop out sand.
it's all just pulverized coral reef.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's kind of interesting. But I remember we were out there, and so in Bermuda they have this species of parrotfish. Usually they're like a few inches long. They're like 6 to 8 inches long and not very big at all.
Yeah.
They have them there. They are very,
Ooh.
very large,
That's
very
intimidating.
flat fish.
And they have like a beak.
They do.
Yeah.
They have a hard beak to break off the coral. And like we were swimming around these things, and you could tell that they had seen people before and just didn't care.
Yeah.
Like as long as you didn't fuck with them.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you did fuck with them, they just gave you a dirty look and swam away.
Right. Yeah,
my
because they're
gosh.
going to move 8,000 times faster
Yeah.
than you. And
Yeah,
that's
who
the
gives
end of
a
your
shit?
entire
Yeah.
encounter.
That shelf drop off feeling when we were in the Maldives, I had that experience because it's like very shallow. You could stand up. It'd be at high tide, it'd be like at my chest, but low tide, like my waist. And you'd be like swimming around, snorkeling around, and we would see all kinds of wildlife swimming around, like little mini sharks and all kinds of stuff. But we like took the snorkel out, like not that far, but you're far enough. You're starting to get a little nervous. But seeing that shelf, that internal dread of like, it feels like a ledge you're going to drop off. Like I'll just sink for some reason if I go over
interesting.
there. That's what I felt like.
Because definitely what I picture was something coming out of it.
See,
It didn't bother me to like be over the
See, no, when you
Gulf.
talked about it, what Whitney's talking about is what I thought you were
That's
talking
what I
about.
thought.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh no,
thought.
I
too.
definitely pictured like
It's a mountain
a
that you're
large-
just like
that's in
over.
my mind.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
definitely just picture an animal that is much, much bigger than anything that I'm seeing coming out of that Gulf.
Also, could we just take a minute to appreciate the way that Whitney just had to one up me?
I
with-
did.
with my,
I knew you were going to call me out on
Discovery
that.
Cove. Oh, when I was in the Maldives, I had a very similar experience.
It was very subtle.
I also
It
discovered
was not
things.
necessary.
You know what?
Yeah.
It was very
I
scary.
mean, I've
I
never
was
been to Discovery Cove.
Yeah.
But when
I
I
was
was in the
very scared
Maldives,
of-
Sure, it's nice.
I had a very similar experience to Nick at Wet n Wild. I was in the French Riviera.
I actually had a funny story to tie to that because I'm out there in this same moment. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is dreadful. Like, it's kind of looking over this edge. A tiny part of me was almost like, I want to tickle that fear a little bit. Like, the fucked up part of me is like, I kind of want to go swim near it just to like
Right.
see how scared I get. Or I
Right.
don't know. Maybe
Oh,
it's
funny.
Encounter it, yeah.
So I'm over there doing that. And then I kind of like hear something from Peter because
And
he's
I'm
not.
sorry, I'm just confused. This is in Discovery Cove or the Maldives?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that it's important to clarify.
Discovery Cove is a nice
How
place.
expensive was this experience? Because, I mean, if I'm spending good money, I'm tickling my fear.
I got a really good COVID
You
deal.
just have to pay extra for that.
I already felt bad that I had listed off Hawaii and Bermuda.
I was like, Jacob's listening his shit. No, it was funny to me because there
There
why
were two applicable stories, though.
no.
It was definitely the McDonald's of the dining experiences.
Yeah. Buddy, I'll always be here to be under you. I'm good. I'm not trying to compete in this game at all. No. I'm fine with the fact that I'm uncomfortable with the public pool. Like, it's a little too deep.
There's things down there.
Yeah, the hotel pool at like the fucking Mazda
I
Suites.
totally understand what you guys are saying. When I was in my above ground pool,
Yeah,
I had this really crazy
The
experience.
La Quinta was a little deep. A little more
went
than
over
necessary.
my head.
Yeah. No, I don't think
Bottom
so.
water was colder
It
than
was
the top
colder.
water.
You guys ever gone underwater? It's like pressure.
Trying to say that we're all like,
Felt
what?
that? You guys ever felt like that pressure when you drop like a penny? You have to go pick it up?
No, y'all.
Kinda hurts.
Here's the different minds
Hurts
Peter
your
and I
ears.
live in. Then we talk. We're about to get in the water to do this snorkeling venture, and so we're stepping in. And Peter's like, "Oh yeah," telling me later. I had this whole thought process. I need to wear red swim shorts just in case we get sucked out to sea. They'll be able to find me and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there listening to
Sucked
him.
out to sea.
I was
Yeah,
like,
how does this work for you?
I was like, it must be exhausting living in your house. That's all I told him. He goes, it is. I was like,
Okay, but he's not wrong.
I mean,
though, right?
yellow,
I mean,
not red. Red's going to attract sharks.
No, I think red would be
No,
fine.
the
No,
smell.
yellow. You go bright, white, or yellow.
Sharks aren't cartoon bulls from Looney Tunes.
Okay.
They don't just go crazy every time they
Well,
see
that's
red.
80% of my knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the next thing this little shit does, I'm over there tickling my fears over this ledge,
you
and
are.
I see like Peter, I don't know, he's doing something different. So I like poke up, and he's like, ooh, like making this sound. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what? And I like pull my little goggles off to look at him, and he's like, I saw a shark. I'm swimming back. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I'm terrified, and I got back. I'm like, I didn't even see it. Are you sure you saw a shark? I don't even trust
No.
you. I was like, you're a liar.
So there was this. We're getting way off. I don't even remember what the question
Who
was.
cares?
But
Keep
there
going.
was
scared of
I came
sharks.
across an Instagram reel of this diver, and she was talking about what you do if you're swimming and you come across a shark, and like the way that she came across. And like explaining, like, don't worry, it's really simple. All you have to do is
It's like push their
this.
nose or something
Yeah, I'm
like
like,
that.
in the nose.
Fuck you.
Yeah, they're like, it's coming at you. You just push it
When
away.
it's got your head in its
First
mouth,
thing I'm gonna do
just
is
punch it
shit
in the
my
nose.
pants. And like that's exactly.
First thing I'm gonna do
I mean,
is
that will get rid of a
converting
lot of
to
things.
Christianity.
I mean, I have no idea what the second, third, or fourth thing is
Yeah.
going to be, but I know what the first
yeah.
thing
Yeah.
is.
Lord forgive me is the
I
last
make
words out
peace
of my
with your
mouth.
God.
I've ended a lot of confrontations with a lot of different animals and people by shitting myself.
It works.
It works.
Okay.
Anyway, right.
When you're just taking an ass whooping
Tell
and
us
just
where
shit
you've been on
yourself.
vacation.
That's right. Not all fears need to be challenged. I
You're
feel
right,
like
though.
you can get
Shitting
out of
your
it.
pants gets you out of a lot of
Oh,
situations.
yeah.
It ends a lot
Yeah.
of conversations.
There was one
Hey,
other
isn't
thing
it
I
your
wanted to tell
turn
the
to
writer.
pick up the bill?
Yeah, we're done.
Nope.
Just right there.
Guess not.
Guess not.
Worst experience at Denny's ever.
Not an
What were you
uncommon
gonna say?
experience, but the worst.
Just a regular Saturday at the Waffle House.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It depends on which part of the country you're in.
You keep
Sometimes
the Waffle
that's how
House
you know.
out of your mouth.
No, my opinion was they said they didn't want to spend like money and time on exposure therapy, but you could
wouldn't.
kind of do that on
That's
your
it.
own.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
what
you
I was
don't need
gonna
to hire a
say. Yeah.
therapist for this.
Yeah.
You need to
I
get a
would
best
say-
friend and
I mean,
go.
it sounds. Honestly, Ryder, it sounds like it's bothering you.
Yeah.
So I would work on it because it's bothering you.
That's it.
I wouldn't work on it because it's a practical need. You
No.
don't have a need to go out and swim in the ocean.
Where
Like,
swallowing pills was.
If there's
Right, exactly.
anything, if there's anything you could do, one of the things you could do is research grounding techniques.
yeah, that's
Look
it.
up some grounding techniques.
keeps you out of the
Water
ocean.
techniques.
Yes.
Yeah, and start practicing those. And when you start to notice your anxiety level start to go up, practice a technique and then let it go down and learn to get control over your anxiety levels.
Right.
Yes.
Like be able
In
to
baby
let
situations,
it,
yeah.
let it go up to a 5 and feel comfortable with a 5, knowing that you're confident that you can bring it back down to a 2.
Yeah.
And just keep practicing that. And then now all of a sudden a 6 is no longer as scary as it used to be.
Right. Yeah. And the thing about roller coasters or some of these like abrupt experiences is like obviously a lot of the pain and suffering is like beforehand with the anticipation, but then when you're done, there's this sense of like, okay, I did it, it's done, I ripped the Band-Aid off. How do I feel afterward? And taking that personal inventory, checking in with yourself and asking where am I at? That's where I landed with, okay, I did it. I've proven I can do it. I don't like it. Fuck it. I'm not going to do
Sure.
it again.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I have nothing to
I
prove to
mean-
anybody. I just don't want to fucking do it.
My mom's a great example of this. Absolutely has a terrible fear of flying. Right? Also does not like to drive at night. Also does not like to drive during the day.
Okay.
So
You're
like
driving
also
or
doesn't
flying.
like Nick.
She's
So,
a
like-
true Midwesterner.
So currently
Horse
riding
and
her bike to
carriage.
Las
no,
Vegas
so
from
like,
Iowa.
so like, is she going to come down to visit? No. And
Yeah.
she seems perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
true.
wait for you.
Yeah.
It's
No,
no
and my
big deal.
dad is very afraid of heights, and it has gotten worse as he has gotten older.
Yeah, I think a lot of fears do get worse as you
I
go.
probably so. That makes sense. Yeah. But like he can he lives in a condo, and so he has a little balcony on his condo, and like he can stand on the balcony perfectly fine. It's a couple of stories up, no big deal. But like a few years ago, he and his wife were here, and we were down at Hoover Dam. And his wife wanted to walk across the bridge and look at Hoover Dam from the bridge.
Sure, yeah.
And my dad took a few steps out onto the bridge, which is a wonderful walkway with a... It's
very wide.
It's
Yeah.
very wide, and there's a guardrail, like a solid wall next to you that is...
Also thick.
I mean, it's close to like chest height.
Yeah.
It's probably like 5 feet.
You're not accidentally tipping over.
No, it would be hard to get over it intentionally.
You would have to climb over it
Yeah.
actively to get like it's built for the cars going back and forth across this bridge to be able to run into and not fall off
If a
into
kid
the
wants
chasm.
to see it, you've got to lift that kid up.
Exactly.
Yeah, throw them.
And yeah, like he got out like 20 feet onto the bridge, and he was like, you know what? Fuck this. You guys go on out, take your pictures, do whatever you want to do.
Right.
I'm going to be right here.
Yep.
See you when you get back.
I love that
Yeah.
idea.
And he's just decided I'm
good.
The times in my life that I am high up enough on a thing that this bothers me, I can avoid most, if not all, of those things.
Yep.
I'm an older man. I'm doing my thing.
I don't
I'm
have
fine.
to.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I'm with him on that.
And so, like, Ryder, honestly, if you feel like you can just get through it and get through the rest of your life and just be like, I'm not going to swim in the ocean. I'm going to be a person who doesn't swim in the ocean. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you feel like that's okay, cool. If it bothers you and you're thinking about it all the time, even though you're not trying to swim in the ocean all the time, then maybe work on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like our advice for all three questions has been to tell the person it's not really a problem.
Yeah. Just gaslight him. Yeah.
I think that's fine.
You're fine. You don't need any. You don't need
You're
a change.
overthinking it. Don't worry about it.
You
It'll
think
all
you've
work
got
out.
problems? We have to move out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to do
Yeah,
real
right?
shit. Yeah, but I like this argument that you don't have to preemptively go out and expose yourself to all these things so that one day you can enjoy it fluidly. I think that the day will come whenever you confront this, and it might be on a vacation, and you're like, oh, wow, I haven't gone to the beach in 7 years, but like today's the day, I'm here, and now I feel uncomfortable. It's like, great, first day of your vacation, I know what you're going to do. You know, have to wait out in the water and like deal with it now. So that's the right way to do it. But anyway, Ryder, good question. Thank you for sending this in, especially on a slow news night where we put out the call. If you're wondering what this writer's talking about when they say like, hey, I heard you all need questions, we have a very active relationship with our Discord friends, everybody that supports us at patreon.com/therapy. We talk with
sure
them
do.
all except for Jacob. We talk to them all the time. We share photos of our pets with them and tell about our adventures, constantly sharing inside jokes and just like a lot of fun banter. Discussion on the questions where we're getting lots of feedback, and there's currently a discussion of creating a happy hour on there.
Oh, nice.
And enjoying some of the fun games that are actually built into Discord. You can play poker on there and like
cool.
all sorts
I
of
didn't know
really cool
that.
stuff. So yeah, I mean, again, patreon.com/therapy. I know we pitch it all the time.
And if you're a Patreon, you get free access to that that Discord conversation.
You
and
have it.
I joke about not being on there. When I am on there, it is delightful.
Yeah, great.
It is so great every time. The interactions are always so great. People tag me in things, and so
Yeah.
I get notifications.
Go
and
poke
go like,
around for a
I
while."
gotta go see what's going on in
see
the
what's
Discord.
going on with them.
And it's so great. It's worth being a Patreon member just to have access to that Discord. And
Yeah.
there's a weird amount of stuff that's kind of useful in
Yeah.
that Discord as well.
Well,
Like
I
if
mean,
you have an
just-
issue with something, you just type something in, and
Yes,
like 8 different people
jump
tell
in
you,
and give you feedback.
like,
and
hey, here's what you
advice.
can do.
It's awesome. We had a student,
Not just mental
recently-
health things; it can be anything.
Oh yeah, well, we had
Where's
a
your
mental
water
health
cutoff valve?
student. Yeah, that's very helpful. We had a student recently that jumped in and said, "Hey, I need to interview somebody for a class. I have a paper to write. It needs to be somebody with a diverse background. Can anybody help me out?" And so, yep, the whole server jumped
Great.
in and said, "Great, here's my background. Here's my background." People from all over the world saying, "Here's, would this work for you?" We got this kid paired up with somebody. Boom, they're writing their essay.
Perfect.
What a great community. So just love that stuff. Patreon.com/therapy. Come be a part of it. Why not? Maybe you check on it once a week and you're like, yeah, whatever. It's one more area of the internet that I bump into really nice people that like mental health stuff, and they're very kind and funny and good humored, and that's
I was
hard
gonna say,
to
and
find.
they're not mean to Jim.
Right? Yeah, well, not intentionally. No, but it's really funny because I think one of the things that's awesome about our community is that we are simultaneously super mental health advocates, super mental health focused, very kind, very encouraging people, and also really just like good sense of humor, give each other shit, constantly teasing, good, just like everybody's in on the joke. And that's very hard to find. Like usually if you find the mental health people, they're like made of glass. And nothing is a joke. Everything is fucking serious. And then you find the people that are joking.
You shouldn't joke about that because so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and this has happened. And you go like, that's all true, but fuck you.
Yeah, and then you find the people with a good sense of humor and they take it too far and they're unkind and you're just like, God damn, this sucks. It's very hard to find communities, like us, like Ice Cream Social, that really blend those things together. So check us out, patreon.com/therapy. Come be a part of it. You get the show ad-free a day earlier, get the extended show. We always record 30, 40 minutes before the show that you hear here on the main threads, and you just get this pumped right to your regular app that you're using right now. You get a little code sent to your email. You copy, you paste it into your settings, boom. Now you got that. Now you're getting that every Wednesday. It's awesome. You also get access to our deep dives, interviews, skill shares, research roundups, and rants. I'm doing a series right now on artificial intelligence and psychology and kind of exploring the present and the future of that as it's related to mental health and ways that we might have to interact with this technology and use this technology and the way it may displace some of our realities and how that's going to affect mental health. Did you have something?
If you happen to write in about pregnancy and we completely dismissed your question, oops, please let us know.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure we answered that.
I feel like we did too,
familiar.
but I'm always really worried about
just
now
in
your
case.
texts make a lot more sense. On the way here, your text was confusing me because I thought you were asking about the email thread, but now I realize you were asking about the link I sent you. So that's okay. We're on the same page. We're good.
Great.
It'll all work itself
Took a little
out.
time, but
I'm sure that person will still be pregnant next week. We could just answer that question again. It'll be fine.
how's your baby? I think you had it by now.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah, we'll get around to it. Anyway, we've got some new friends at patreon.com/therapy. Who's new to the party there, Nick?
We got a brand new Therapod. Welcome to the party,
Welcome.
Brandy Campbell.
Woohoo.
Was that the only one?
That's it.
Okay, we need some support, friends. Patreon.com/therapy. Every month, at the first week of the month, we like to thank everybody by name that supports the Therapod level and higher. So thank you, the Dark Lord himself, Jim Fasha, University Jeff, Robert Paulson, Linda Brandmeier, Scoopstronaut, Joseph Pengrazio, Corey Owens, Christine Phillips, Gavin Bristow, Carrie Terhark, Kiwi Fruit Scoop, Take It Evie Podcast, James K., Craig Little, Don Dorr, Jim Hunter, Scoopatron, Todd Canfield, Felicia Butler, David Sorensen, Shayla Bullock, Lauren Izzo, Katie Chibakowski, Adam Petanuzzo, Matt Lenegrin, Lee Popsicle, Scoopater sending Ian Soto, that Josh guy, Mama Ninja Scoop, James Dawson, Sarah Olo, Grumpy Lake Mead Park Ranger, Sam Buck, Karen McCulloch, What Weekend, Lila, Be Gay, Do Crimes, Kelly Gagner, Nippy, Brian Emra, Matthew Johnson, Alec Lancaster, J.D. Congan, Julius Capel, Stacy, A Literal Pickle, Matthias Vandebrandt, Ken Tinsley, Protect and Scoop, Smells Funny, Matthew Kubik, Duffy the Slowly Getting Their Therapist Bear, Joel McMillan, Chad the Safety Lad, Walker Fluke, Kierkegaard, Philip Guyton, Tim Mystery, Almost Doctor, Nurse Joey, Melissa L. Geisler, Christopher DeGursey, Trisha Ortiz, Kirsten Johnson, Freya Lawson, DJ Seward, Mississippi Hippie, Lisp, Scott A., Patty Glad, Fifi, Anthony Camarada, Heather W., Kyle, David Williams, nailed it, Kate Please, Trontastic, Buddy Dobbins, Eric Dyer, nailed it, Kernapiller, Glitch Scoop, Nathan Mook, Nathan. You know what? Fuck it, Nathan Mookie.
Yeah.
I like that better. Bug Nuts.
I believe it's Moki.
Stephen Landon, Aletta Belaze, Kenneth Wong, John Finlayson, Mysterious Annalid, Adam Belaz, Kay Pizzle Dizzle, Robert Cole, Persephone Hazard, Carmen Perry, KJ, Mr. Poth, Sincitium, Temporary Reality, Jeff Darnell, Jamibi, Jacob Hurt, Ray J. Shark, Silka Daniels, Recreated, What Does Scoop Mean? Jacob Billingsley, Alex Jardine, Dylan Colopy, I'm going to go with colonoscopy, that feels better, okay. Wolfie05, Chris Courtney, Dale the King, Cedar Hayden, Adam Goff, Jesse Miller, Livy, Kevin Tribe, Linus Hakkasan, Terrible Tay. Oh, thanks, Terrible. Terrible Tay was the student who asked us that question, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
we were able to pair up Terrible Tay with somebody to do the paper on. Grace, Itty Bitty Chicken Farmer, Yegan Keeley, Sam K. Matthews, Chill Food, John Cavaradas, Zachary W., Fish Bum Fish, J.W. Reynolds, Michael F., Foxy Sally, Cloudy Pies, Ty Evans, Neck Pubes, Matthew Connor, John S., Winter Scoop, and the Witty Shitty Titty Committee, Fun Crapper, and Brandy Campbell.
Yeah, so there's a lot of these in here. I try to correct them when I find them. Sometimes I miss them, but like when I copy and paste it over, it doesn't paste over the letters.
Some of them have like the copyright
copy
symbol.
pastes, and it's it's wingdings is basically what it is.
Yeah.
It kind of looks.
So when you hear
like
Jim just break into like digital static, that's what I'm trying to
it's definitely
imitate.
not because he can't pronounce stuff.
No.
Yeah.
It's because
we
of
never
wingdings.
thought that.
I know how to say the words.
Every time you type out reservoir, it just comes up really weird on Microsoft.
Yeah, there's an
Word.
autocorrect.
That's Microsoft's
That's autocorrect.
That's not.
Come on. I can't be expected to pronounce wingdings.
All right. We also have our Therodactyls, Ice Blue Scoop, Brian Lehman, Andrea Anderson, Lori Elsroth, Sai Shanagon, Scoopy Jess, Okie Scoop, Dank Butta, Brooks Lyle, Adam Ripchick, Lovely Spark, Sir is just fine, Jim and Manu, the offices of Counselor and Counselor, Manuel Cavazos, a crusty croissant, as Jim says, Smug Mochi Ice Cream, Nora Monaco, RT, Momi Damate, Mike J. Nilsson, BB Hermit, I.
Nice. And we'd like to thank the benevolent, revered, generous, and flagrantly pro-therapy diehards who love you all so much they give till it hurts. The Therap partners, Dirty B and Pickett. And we want to especially thank our bosses, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of the fan club, the Therap producers. Thank you, Jake Schneider, Myra, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, Smitty Scoop, Richard fucking Macy, Judy Schneider, Malia, Leon Kassab, Carolyn Albert, Kevin Chamberlain, Tess Miller, Dan Martin, Sammy Scoop, Slurpy Kai, motherfucker, Ben Stanley slapping your face, Sarah Smith, Adam Hathaway, Byler T, Mike Helm, Oscar Swanrose, Paris, A Sunny Boy, Darren Cunningham, Lib, Sandra McWaffle, Team Monaco, Thunder Cougar, Falcon Scoop, Hey Yo, Hannah Marie, Andrew Lingmead, Emma and Tonka, and Pony Soprano, Alina, Cody the Lorian Guy, Brady Malachik, Chick Fellatio, Gabriel Adame, Sean Sutherland, Max the Ginger Scoop, Chad Mag, and Adam Warren.
If you'd like to hear this episode uncut and unedited,
And why wouldn't you?
and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. And thank you for supporting mental health.
Well, that's all the time we got for this week's session. If you want to hear some awesome improv comedy from our buddy Matt, you can check that out. The Bucket Show. It's going to be at the Majestic Repertoire Theater on July 5th, Saturday at 8 p.m. We want to thank for the last
It's
time.
not just Matt. It's Matt, Paul, and a couple.
Paul's in town too.
Paul's coming in town for
Holy
it.
shit. Go check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a whole thing.
Bucketshow.com?
TheBucketShow.com.
That's awesome.
Oh, no. That's our. You don't have to do anything. You
Just show up.
Just
Just
go
The
there.
Majestic Repertory Theater, 8 p.m. show on July the 5th.
No tickets necessary. Throw a
Cats,
buck in the hat.
Matt Mattingly, as well as people from Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Wayne Brady, and all that kind of stuff.
And I'll be there too.
Yep.
So it'll be fun to hang out with you. And of course, we want to thank our landlords who've been so generous these past 8 years. Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social podcast. And to those of you who contributed to our show today, we really do appreciate it. Remember, pod therapy isn't something you should keep all to yourself. Share the episode with the world. Tag us on the socials when you do. It's at PodTherapyGuys on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter, /PodTherapy on Facebook and Blue Sky. And don't forget about all the extra goodies at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? You can ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com or click the link in the episode description to be taken to our anonymous Google form page. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jim.
Thanks and good night from Show Creator Studios. Thank you, Show Creators.
Good night from Clueless.
As if.
Did I win? I think I won. I won. See ya!